Hello, everybody out there in the internet land. Welcome to Almost a Party, episode 16. Yay! We're waiting on one of our players to show up. Hopefully, they will be here soon, and we'll have a full group for the first time in a little while. It'll be good to have everybody here. So, in our last session, our players had dealt with the dwarves that they had captured previously, discovering that there is a civil war amongst the dwarves. One of them talked about the war and how he was going for help to put an end to the war and putting it outside, whereas the other dwarf that they talked to never mentioned the war, but only talked about keeping the secrets of the dwarfs secret. The players spent some time discussing and figuring out what to do with them, determining to bring them back to the mountains and turn them over to the dwarf guards. Upon arriving in the city of Zundare, they did just that, turning over the two dwarf captives, as well as returning the deceased dwarfs from the fights to the mountains as well. They then spent some time in the city of Zundare doing some shopping and looking around and naming a burger as well. Our players then decided that they were going to look for a guide to help them get through the mountains so that they could arrive onto the other side to the nation of Harrington as they are going to visit the counselor there. So, it's about 2 in the afternoon. As you guys have done your shopping, eaten some food, you are going out and looking for a guide to take you through the mountains. The city is busy and bustling just as ever. It is up to you what you would like to do.
Goal one is get a guide, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
just
let's
we
find
decided
one.
not to like rest for the night. We're just gonna head in since it's like early enough in the day still, right?
We decided we weren't just gonna head in, we were gonna try and find a guide, and if we can find one today, we'll go. But
Gotcha.
yeah, because it's like midday-ish, I think, early midday-ish.
Yeah.
Is about where
Yeah.
we were at. Yeah.
We had talked at the very end of last session of whether we want to just press on right now, which is where Valerian's head was at, but thinking it over, I think that we'd probably appreciate sleeping in a bed. We've been on the road for
Yes.
weeks at this point,
Yes.
and we're about to be on
So
the road for weeks more.
Is there, I guess, any sort of like wayfinders thing or guide central location we might find? Because I imagine people hiring guides is pretty common.
yes, so it is quite common for guides to be hired from Zendare to travel into the mountains. It is mostly helmed by dwarfs, as they're the most common under the mountain, but there are some dark elves and some gnomes and deep gnomes, as well as a few other races that just have dark vision that have decided they want to live under there. So there's some gnomes and some tabaxi as well amongst them.
Let's get a non-dwarven guide and stay away from this dwarven shenanigans as much as we can.
I agree
That's
with that.
Valerian's vote.
Is there an option to find some like mind flayers that can lead us under the mountain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to go under the mountain first to find the mind flayers, but
Gotcha.
absolutely.
Sure.
Hello, we are looking to travel. How about you?
This may be my elven ignorance of what's underground, but aren't stories of mind flayers traditionally negative? Like I've heard travelers talk about them eating brains and stuff.
They're just
Is that
misunderstood.
just like an
Conveniently, they can
exaggeration from like prejudice, or that doesn't sound like a good
conveniently
experience?
It's written by those who
they
really
can
don't like mind flayers, so you can't trust that stuff.
they can take Ito's. He won't miss it.
Ooh, self burn.
Realistically, how many people who lose their brain are going to complain about it?
Most?
Really?
I mean, they would complain before it happened. After it
Maybe.
happened, yeah, probably not many complaints coming out.
So what's a good thing that has dark vision?
Me.
Can we get a
So
gnome?
the next most common that you're going to find are dark elves,
Yeah, let's go
and
some drow.
then you'll find some gnomes and some deep gnomes as well.
Gnome. I vote for gnome.
I vote for gnomes.
You don't want to have a dark elf guide? What's the worst that could happen?
Oh,
Ito's going with anything that is minimally likely to stab us.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm down for gnome as
hilariously,
well.
we can put a gnome on your back.
You could also go for goblins
I don't like goblins.
or
If like
kobolds.
as a group, if we're looking around, or if he sees like a gnome guide, he's gonna get excited and be like, "We should go with him."
I trust this gnome implicitly with my life.
Yeah, yeah. He was created by a gnome, and he has nothing but love and respect for gnomes. He's not been burned other way.
All right, so
That makes
we're
sense.
gnome time.
There's no place like gnome.
Viva
Okay.
la living gnome.
So as you find the guides, and you start asking around, you are introduced to the gnome who is currently here and residing. She introduces herself as Joseli Strongstand. She is a rock gnome. She has as light gray skin. And she's got her head completely shaved except for a ponytail coming out of the back, which is completely black. She's wearing dark gray clothes. She goes, "So, where are you looking to get into the mountains?"
Where are we?
Specifically, we're looking to go through the mountains.
Looking to
But
get
we
to
do
the
want
other
to stop.
side.
Yes, we do want to stop along the way if possible.
Well, where do you want to stop?
I believe we want to stop at the High Throne of Bedrock.
Oh, so you want to go to the capital. Okay.
We have a friend there.
That can be done. Oh, why don't you have your friend come and escort you then?
Yeah, why
They-
don't we have a friend come escort us?
They are busy.
Hmm.
We've sent word, but have not yet heard back yet from them.
All right, all right. Well, so my normal rate's 2 gold per day through the mountains. Right now, it's a bit of chaos, so I'm upping that to 5 gold per day. It takes 4 days just to get to the capital city, the High Throne of Bedrock. And then, which exit are you looking to get through? Are you looking to go across all the way towards the coast, where you'll enter into the nation of Harrington? Are you looking to go south towards Dark City? Or are you looking to go further north and come up in the Netherloft?
Harrington.
Harrington, all right. That's about a month's journey, so that's gonna be 30 days. That does include the 4 days to the High Throne of Bedrock, but does not include any time there. So that'll come to 150 gold.
We
Valerian
have
says.
we do have 200 gold in the party fund right now from getting paid to get here, right?
What if we just pay to get to the High Throne and then we pray?
Yeah, that was 4 days, right? So that's
Yeah.
only 20 gold.
Yeah,
Seems
let's
much more
do that.
probable.
We'll start there.
Can we work something out with Joseli to go to the High Throne and then perhaps contract her beyond that? Because we might not need her beyond that.
Yeah, it's entirely likely that we'll be stuck there for a little while, possibly.
And could quite possibly get further assistance from the dwarves and from Sephin, quite possibly at that point.
She responds, she goes, "Well, the High Throne of Bedrock is a place where us guides stay and look for people and help escort them out of the mountains back to Zundare. So if you're not planning on taking me all the way through, then we can just go to the High Throne of Bedrock, and then when you're ready to leave, if I'm there, I'm happy to escort you all the way through the rest of the mountains."
That sounds
Perfect.
excellent.
So it'll be 20 gold that's paid up front. And when are you looking to leave?
What do you
Tomorrow
suggest
morning.
is the best time to depart?
I'm indifferent. So if we leave now, it'll take 4 days. We'll spend 4 days sleeping in some various places underneath the mountains, and it gets real dark real fast for those of you that can't see well. Um, If you'd rather wait and leave in the morning, we'll get a bit further each day. And so we'll arrive in the evening on the 4th day, as opposed to really arriving in the morning of the 5th day.
Valerian will look to everybody else. He prefers tomorrow morning, but if we want to go now, then we might as well.
I'm fine with tomorrow morning. It'll allow me to check something before we leave.
Oh yeah, he's got to check his classified ad.
Yep.
Tomorrow morning.
I think,
All
yeah,
right.
tomorrow morning, yeah.
So let me go ahead and jot down a contract here in your names. And once I take payment, we'll be good to go. And what we'll do is we'll meet at the entrance to the mountains bright and early at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
How about we pay you 10 now and 10 before we set out to
Uh,
ensure you'll meet us in the morning?
oh, I will definitely be there. You'll have the contract. And if I am not there, you can just come right on back here and you'll get a full refund. But without paying full up front, you don't reserve me.
Perfect. Let's finish the contract then, and then Valerian will feel good about it.
All right.
Insight check.
Under our very real names.
So, go ahead and make your insight roll, Ore.
I just want to see if she's willing to like take our money and then vanish. I rolled a natural 18 plus 5 for 23.
Okay. This is a legitimate business service
Cool.
there.
Yeah, this is just like the.
And so, like, she's filling out paperwork and putting everything down on it, the details there. 4 days to the high throne of Bedrock, with the hazard pay rate.
Alrighty.
So, and she gets it all up, signs it, and then she goes, "And what should I call all y'all?"
We have not quite determined a group name yet, though we do represent a faction of silhouettes from a shared vision.
Let's
not
go
sure.
with Bruce's party.
Bruce's party. Very good. And who would like to sign the contract?
Why Bruce himself?
All right.
Yes,
Bruce, go ahead.
that's acceptable. A
Would,
really elaborate O, and then instantly turn it into a B and finish off with Bruce.
okay. And she goes, "All right. Thank you for that. And who has the 20 gold?"
I'll take it out of the bag of holding.
All right. And she'll take it and it'll turn and go into a back room and bring it back out. She goes, "All right. That's yours to keep there. I've got my copy. And we'll see you tomorrow, 6 a.m.
It's a pleasure meeting you. We will see you in the morning.
It was nice meeting you too, Bruce.
Have a good one.
All right. So you have the rest of the day. By this point, it's only about 3:30 in the afternoon, so you still have a good portion of the day to explore the city and to do what you would like to do.
Ore's kind of excited to explore the city. See, this city's already underground, right?
No. So it is mostly above ground, but as you move further and further towards the west, there is a large opening that starts going into the mountains, but it doesn't actually start descending until you've gone about 3,000 feet in there. And then it starts slowly descending into the mountains.
Does any part of the city start creeping up the side of the mountain at all?
None of it goes up, so they have this big, essentially, tunnel that they've carved out to go into the mountain instead of going up onto the mountain. There are ways nearby to go up into the mountains, up over the mountains, but nothing in the city itself.
Gotcha. Is there like a temple district of this town?
There is not a temple district in this town, but there are a few temples kind of scattered throughout the city. The ones that you would find mostly here in this city are going to be Kiritsu, who is the god of order, and then you will find Brewdeck Battle Belt is very common here, as well uh, as let me grab his name, as Borer Greymantle. So they are the three most common that you will find in this city, but there
So that
are a few other temples around, but some of them are shared.
got ya. So it's the two dwarf gods that we learned about last session, and what was the first one?
Uh,
The
yeah, so it's Kiritsu, the god of order. She is a turtle.
how do you spell that?
Kiritsu.
Now the god itself is actually a turtle, or is it like a turtle god?
The goddess herself is a turtle.
Gotcha. Of the other like scattered temples, is there one to Thalia, or is there another?
There is not one to Thalia here, given that
Got
a
it.
lot of the inhabitants live underground. Worshipping the stars isn't something they do.
Are you sure? Okay. Is there a library in this town?
There is a small library here. It is a small offshoot um, of the. Um,
The Iotopia Society?
yes, thank you.
I would like to try, like, Ore specifically would like to go find the library if he has time.
Okay. Yeah. Easy enough to ask around and find directions to the library. As you get there, you're expecting kind of this grand uh, building like you're used to in Drusis, but it's really just a small little shack. It's only about 50 feet by 50 feet when you go in there, and there are like 3 or 4 bookshelves that are only about 3/4 of the way full.
Oh, so really, really Spartan compared to what I'm used to.
Yes, very much so.
Gotcha.
You're used to this huge, grand, essentially the center of all knowledge on the continent. Um,
Yeah, it'd be like the difference between being used to a huge college library and then going to a little town library.
yep.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of like a mall kiosk McDonald's versus like a big play center McDonald's.
They don't even have a play place.
If anyone would like to come with me, I was going to go to the library and basically turn in a good portion of my notes of my journey so far so they could get back to Herido.
I want to set up a little stand and do characters of people.
Okay. Where do you want to set up? Do you want to set up closer to the rest of the merchant district, where it's just before you would start heading into the mountains, or do you want to set up more where there are a lot of people entering the city towards the city entrance?
Ooh, good question. Probably towards whichever's closer to where we're staying.
You haven't decided where you're staying yet,
We
so
figured that out first, then. Then I'll set up a stand.
No, we should all split up first and then figure out where we're staying afterwards.
Ore
Let's
has
find a
already
place to
wandered
stay.
off.
Yep.
Ori, come back.
Or he's like that kid at Disneyland.
We got to figure out where we're going to meet up. Don't go
Oh.
yet.
Oh, yes, good point.
Are we still at the like guide place?
I'm
we
assuming
left,
that
yeah.
you've like walked out.
I mean, I
But-
would ask them maybe. Hey, do you have any recommendations for an inexpensive but comfortable place? We've been on the road for a long time.
Or dropping your name might get us a discount.
Dropping my name won't get you a discount anywhere.
That's sad.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, if I could get a discount myself, that'd be great. Just be like,
If
do
you
you
go-
know who I am?
If you go to what's the river? Is it the River Whiskey Burger I admitted?
Yeah, it was the whiskey burger.
Yeah, you go there and tell them that.
You could try the Faded Dwarf Inn. It's a great place to sleep, I understand.
Ito was gonna ask if any inns in the city have a any sort of pit fighting set up.
No?
You guys beat each other at all here?
No, not really.
Must be a cultural
He's
thing.
gonna ask if there is any non-inn related pit fighting.
Um, no?
What do any of you do for entertainment around here?
Ooh,
You know, some people
we go
read.
to the Dazzling Forest. You should totally check it out. They have shows every hour on the hour.
Oh well, okay, we're doing that. So Dazzling Forest and Faded Dwarf was our plan. Let's go get accommodations.
Yeah, if
And
we've
then
got
we
times, I have to say this Kiritsu god sounds somewhat interesting. So if we're nearby, I might swing by just to check it out a bit.
Yeah.
All
So
right, let's do that.
okay. So what are we doing then?
We are gonna go to the Faded Dwarf first, so everyone knows where it is,
Okay.
and get rooms. That way, no matter what happens, people can come back there.
Yeah. And how much? Well, we can figure out when we get there how much we have to pay for our rooms.
All right. So you head off to the Faded Dwarf. It's not too far from the entrance to the mountains. It's a couple blocks away, and it is the largest building here. It's 3 stories high. As you go in, there's just this old, grizzled-looking dwarf behind the counter, just feet up on the counter, leaning back in his chair, snoring away. Big old long gray beard, all the way down to the ground.
So, who's gonna do this?
Excuse me. We would like to check in.
Huh? Oh,
Sorry to disturb your sleep. We would like rooms if possible.
yeah, rooms. How many you need?
Or he looks back at the group. Do we want
Did
to
we
share?
figure this out? Yeah. We haven't discussed this in a while, since the Knolls, I believe.
Since I do not require a room, I'm willing to share a room. I don't need a bed myself.
How many beds do you generally keep to a room?
Depends on the room. We have some that have got singles. We've got some that have two. We actually have a big old room that just has beds. That's our cheapest sleeping option. But you never know who you might be sleeping with. It's just a room full of beds. I think we got about 30 in there.
I
And
will
the
have my
cost
own
per
room.
bed in that room is
That's a silver a night. So and that's per bed.
And how much are unshared rooms, potentially with double beds?
A double bed that's gonna be 5 silver per night per person in that room.
With comfortable sitting chairs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That sounds good.
Well, I vote for a bed in one of the non-hugely shared rooms.
I agree. As a group, we would like some degree of privacy, so just a few of the double rooms, please.
So there's looks like there's 6 of you, so 3 double rooms.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So
Yeah.
that's 5 silver for each of you, which I think that comes out to 3 gold a night. How many nights you plan on staying?
Just the night.
Just one.
And do you have any sort of thing where you can wake us up? We've been
Uh,
on a very long journey, and we have an appointment in the morning.
it's like I can definitely leave a note for the morning guy, but no guarantees.
even if it's just a bang on the door and a shout, that would be helpful.
All
I
right.
should be able to wake us up in time.
Assuming you don't get distracted.
I can help him be
Yeah.
not distracted.
He goes, all right, well, 3 rooms. You're going to be up on the 2nd floor. You'll have rooms 25, 27, and 28. And he,
Alrighty.
I'm immediately curious and worried for whoever is in 26.
and he goes, all right, here are your keys. Let's get some payment here, and you can be on your way to your rooms.
Do we want to take that out of the party fund as well?
Yep.
3 gold.
What was that total payment?
3 gold.
Okay. I reach into my pouch and I pull out 3.
All right, and he hands you the 3 keys to the rooms. And then he puts his feet back up on the counter and leans back in his chair again. And just as you guys start wandering up to your rooms, you already hear the snoring.
From room 25?
It's as you are heading
25,
up to the
27, and
stairs.
28.
There's he's already snoring again.
Oh, then got it. That guy.
Yeah.
I thought you were just
Alright.
saying whoever's in 26 is that bad.
Nope.
Yeah.
Already
that's what-
snoring. We're downstairs. We can hear them.
What's in 26? It's a Snorlax.
Who can cast silence?
All right.
How do we want to do bunks? Valerian doesn't care. While you guys are going and looking at stuff, he's gonna be napping because he hasn't been able to just like chill in weeks.
Ori doesn't care either. He just needs a chair. He doesn't even need a bed.
So why did we pay for one with a bed for Ore again?
Just so we could double up, since we're doubling
There's the
up
only
anyway.
option. Yeah.
You pay per person per room. So even if he's not in the bed, you're paying for occupancy.
Valerian is gonna suggest that he bunks with Ore because it seems like we both just don't want to fuss, and Valerian's all about that.
Oh, I was gonna say we put Ori with Mazeki because Ori can sit in the corner and Mazeki takes up the most room.
You can go to hell.
It's the truth.
Don't worry, we'll have Ito in the room with Mizeki so that he can protect the fragile horse.
I'm glad to know someone will be there in case he gets grievously wounded.
And not the person that can help him.
He falls off the bed. Help! I've been grievously wounded.
All of
Ito
y'all.
shoves his shield in between Mizeki and the floor right before he hits, thereby making it worse.
Yeah. Ori doesn't mind sharing a room with Mazeki. He doesn't mind all
Yeah,
the hay.
that's fine. Yeah. So when the wind elemental eats them all, insanity.
Are you envisioning that Mizeki just has his own bed of hay he brings with him everywhere? He's like, I am a centaur, so I must have a bed of hay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh, see, I
So
figured he
right-
just asked for like all the pillows and sheets he could get, just like slings them
Yeah.
all off the bed and lays
No,
them on the
yeah.
floor.
that's
Makes it a
more
nice
accurate.
little lounge spot.
Yeah.
How long
Basically.
can you be in your ring right now, Mizeki, at a time?
I want to say 4 hours.
Yeah, that's
I'd
plenty
say.
of time, right? You can just go in there in your big old bed.
I mean, technically, you only have to sleep for I think 6 of the 8.
6, yep.
Yeah.
So until we get to level 5, next level, then I will have 6 hours.
Okay.
It takes you guys 6 hours to get rested? Man, I just thought
There's
you guys
a-
were all lazy.
There's a lot of beauty in
The
here.
moment Ito hears this, he says he's going with Alondiel.
Ori gives a little nod to Alondio, like, yeah, I know how you feel.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys have figured out who's sleeping with who.
Not particularly.
I figured out.
I think the
Mizeki's
cats
room.
are together, unfortunately.
Cat room.
Cat
Gonna be a
room,
lot of hairballs.
and then
Yushu.
Ito and the centaur, and then the 2 that need the least rest. Got it.
We just have a
Yeah.
staring contest all night, me and Alondio.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
As soon as we get the rooms, Valerian's just gonna go literally take a nap. and then he'll wake up for the Bright Forest thing and meet everyone there, and then sleep again because he has not been able to have a good daily nap in a very long time, and it makes him a little grumpy.
Okay. So as you get up to the rooms, there is no room 26. So you figure, that's why you are in 25, 27, and 28.
Oh, it's like an unlucky number here.
You could find out, but you don't
So
see a
It's
room
2 times
26.
13.
There's like no interruption in like the spacing. It's like 25. They're just numbered that way: 25, 27, 28. It's not like there's
Yep.
where obviously would have been a room has been walled over.
Correct. It's just
Got
26 number isn't there.
It's
Just
2
like
times
there's
13.
Yeah, just like there's no 13th floor in most high-rise buildings.
Yep.
All right. So, did you want to go do the rest of the stuff that you had talked about in the city now? It sounds like you had a few things you wanted to go do.
Yeah, the nerds are gonna go check out the Star Pit Temple people and the Turtle Temple. The cool people are gonna go to the show place.
Okay.
the
When
coolest
does
is
this show start? Because I thought it was later. It's like
Every hour,
hour.
on the hour. So it will always be starting later.
Okay, well that's good enough for Valerian. He sleeps.
Valerian's gonna take a nap.
Okay. Yeah,
All
I was gonna say it's like 4 o'clock at this point. So
Valerian's about to sleep for 16 hours.
all right.
I'll try and do some caricatures, and then I'll go with Valerian when he wakes up from his nap.
Okay. So Alondia's gonna do some caricatures. Ore is going to go to the library, and then
Oh, yeah, library.
Sadzi is gonna go to the temple,
Yeah, Turtle Temple, and Mizeki's gonna go see the shows.
and Ito.
Ito is going with Mizeki.
Okay.
Probably
That's what
much
I
to
said.
Mizeki's
The cool
chagrin.
people.
So
He doesn't care.
okay. So let's knock out Alondiel first because this should be pretty quick and easy. How long do you want to spend doing caricatures? Or do you want to do actual portraits?
I'd offer anybody either.
Okay. And how much do you want to charge for them?
Enough to cover supplies and maybe an extra silver.
Okay. So like 2 silver a portrait then?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check first, just to see how many people you kind of gather interest in. And then roll me a performance check.
That's an 8 persuasion.
Okay.
And since I'm proficient in painter supplies, can I do the performance at advantage? Or would I be able to, or would that be
just add your
bonus
proficiency bonus to it?
Okay. That would be a 19.
Okay. All right. So you are able to attract.
Sorry, 18.
You are able to attract over the course of your time there 3 individuals who each come up and gladly sit down for you to draw them and pay you 2 silver. The second one that you find is actually very impressed with the quality of work that you do and tips you an additional gold. In addition, you get 2 families that show up that constitute 5 people total. And so all in all, that is, let's see, 2 silver times 8. So 1 gold, 6 silver, plus an extra gold from the 1 generous. So 2 gold, 6 silver is what you make in your time there. And then you'll go and get Valerian and head off to the Dazzling Forest to watch the show.
Yep.
Sadzi, you wanted to go visit the temple for Kiritsu, the God of Order.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just curious.
Yeah. So You make your way there, and this building is the cleanest that you have seen in this city that you have. It is made from marble, but it's not ornate or anything to be extravagant. It is just very well taken care of in good order. As
So
you,
now we know what happened to Marble.
yeah, sure. You know what happened to marble. So you continue on in. Um, and there are several people just sitting around in various prayer positions around the temple, all going about different rituals in there. And there are people of all sorts of different races in here.
Is there like a priest or like a welcome person?
You do not see anybody waiting to greet you as you come into the temple. You just really notice about how everyone is just kind of in their own position there. Um, as you stay there, kind of standing, looking around for a moment, eventually you hear a voice inside your head, Ed, and it goes, "Greetings. I have not seen you here before. Welcome to the temple. What can we assist you with today?"
Well, that's a little creepy. Um, I honestly was just curious.
Ah,
Could you tell me a bit about, I'm guessing, who you are and what sorts of things you tend to oversee?
yeah. So, as you respond, the voice comes back and says, "Yes, give me a moment and I will be down to greet you in person." And as you sit there
What?
and wait for a bit, you are greeted by this very friendly looking turtle. She stands about 7 feet tall, and is wearing very slender white robes that cover her entire body, including the shell, but it's very form fitting to her. And she goes, "My name is Kurug, and I am the head priest here. So, you're just looking to learn more about Kiritsu?"
Uh, yes, I came into town and heard of a god of order, so I was curious.
Ah, yes, yes. So, she is about making sure that we all do our best to keep everything running and to take the chaos in our lives and control it and give our direction so that we may live our best lives. I sense you have
I see.
chaos in you.
Honestly, who doesn't? But
Fair enough.
yes, I guess you could say there is perhaps more chaos than in others. So I'm curious, as a devotee of Kiritsu, um, what do your, I guess, worship practices normally look like? Or is it just sort of a day to day following an order, trying to impose
We
impose order in the chaos? I guess.
Yes, we do our best to follow set schedules to help bring order to our lives. Having a steady structure in our day to day lives helps us bring inner peace to ourselves and allows us to extend that to others. You will find people here going about routines, and you will find them in here every day at the same time, like clockwork.
Hmm, that is interesting. What would you do if you had to travel and you couldn't, you can't really go the same places and do the same things every day?
You
Do you
learn to adapt. The rituals don't necessarily need to be in the same place, but many find comfort in going to the same places to perform them. But as long as you are sticking to somewhat of a routine, you're able to help keep the chaos at bay.
That makes sense. Do you have any sort of writings or studies that I might be able to obtain?
We do not keep any of the writings here as we are a small temple. Um, we know the teachings and share them. I could write some things down for you, but if you're looking for a deep dive into the divine, I would suggest that you visit the Iotopia Society in Drusus. They have a very extensive collection, the most ordered library I have ever seen in my life. We have a small offshoot just down the street. It has some information, but not a lot.
Mm, well, I might see if they have a bit of, I suppose, an introduction. So that is helpful. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
You're welcome. Uh,
And then after that, I'd like to see if I can find the library
okay.
and just see if they have anything there.
All right. Yeah, so you can make your way to the library, which segues us really well into Ore, who went to the library. So, Ore, what are you looking for in this library?
I am going to go to the library and find one of the attendants and let them know I am looking to send a report to Herido at the library in Drusus.
Okay. So there is only a single attendant in this library, right? It um, is a dwarf uh, with a big old red beard that he's got braided into it, and just a completely shaved head, and wearing the similar robes to those in the library at Drusus. He
I'm sorry,
goes,
he has a red braided beard?
beard. Yep.
Gotcha. And then the rest of his head is shaved.
Yep.
Okay.
Do people just shave their heads here a lot? Is that a thing?
Maybe he's going bald. You don't know.
Hello, I am Ore. I was an attendant at the Iotopia Society's Hall of Records in Drusus. I was wondering if you'd be able to help me extend some records to that library from here.
Uh, sure. We could get it and send the message on over. Um, what are you wanting to do?
If you have some paper and possibly an ink quill, I would like to write down just some details. And do you by chance have an envelope that I can use to send it?
Well, we'll take care of sending it for you. If it's going to another one of our temples, we actually have attendants that come around about once a week and collect various messages from the offshoots of our libraries here.
Understood, but I would also like to send a personal note to Herido at that library as well, if I may.
Okay.
That's why I was wondering if you had an envelope.
That's best handled by sending a messenger. You can find a messenger service at the mouths to the mountain.
I see. Thank you. Yes, just some paper so I can write up my findings so far.
And he'll go ahead and pull out some paper, and we'll grab an ink vial and a quill and set it over on the desk in the corner.
Okay, yeah, and then Ore is just going to spend a little bit of time, maybe an hour or so, writing down a summary of what he hasn't sent to Herido so far and just kind of give a pretty decent breakdown of it all.
Okay. As you are writing that, Sadzi comes walking into the library. And so,
Covered
Sadzi,
in
what
blood.
are you looking for in this library? Just information on Kiritsu?
Yeah, just kind of like a. So you're interested in Kiritsu?
Hmm.
Kiritsu for Dummies.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. So like I said, there are about 3 bookshelves here that are about 3/4 full of books, and there's just the single attendant, the dwarf with his braided red beard. Are you going to just start looking for yourself, or are you going to ask for assistance?
Um, I'll ask the attendant just if he can point me to which shelf.
Hmm. And he'll respond as you ask, and he'll go, let's see. If we've got anything on the divines, it should be on the bookshelf closest to that door over there. I don't know what we currently have, as people do check out books from here, and a lot of our books get sent back to the main hub library. So I would just take a look and see what you can find on that first shelf there.
Okay, thanks. So I'm gonna go look through that shelf and see if I can find anything that looks sort of beginner introductory level and not like a treatise on like the followers of Kiritsu through time or anything like that.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
That's gonna be a 9.
Okay. So looking around, you do see that there are a few books about a few of the different divines, and you do find one on Kiritsu. It's Kiritsu and her followers, but it looks a lot more advanced than what you are looking for. But you're more than welcome to pick it up and skim it and take a look around and see what you can find.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab that and maybe wander over to Ore if I see him.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I'm guessing I will.
Yeah, there's just a single desk there, and so you can go up and sit right next to Ore as he is writing away at his letter.
Oh, hello, Sadzi.
Hi, Ore. I swung by the temple and they didn't have a lot, so they suggested I check here for information on Kiritsu. Do you know if like the big library in Drusus has um a lot of stuff on her? I'm just curious.
That's a very good question. Do I know if the library in Drusus would have a lot of information on specifically? I mean, I'm sure they have a pretty good selection on the divines, but specifically Kiritsu.
Make a religion check, and we'll see how much you actually paid attention to that.
Oh, good. That's one of my better stats. Are you sure it can't be history?
Yes. History section is very different than the religion section.
Yeah, yeah. That is a 12 total.
So yeah, you know that there are books on all of the divines, but you don't know how much there is on each specific one.
Yes, the Hall of Records has pretty thorough books and research material across the spectrum of the divines. Specifically for Kiritsu, I'm not entirely sure. I don't believe I've personally looked into researching Kiritsu.
Do you know if you could ask for like books to be sent somewhere from there? Do they do that? Or do you have to like be there to get books from them? I'm just I'm wondering if I could maybe ask for them to send me a tome or two
Hmm.
when we get to some place where
Yeah.
we're gonna be for a while.
So, Ore, you would know that the main library at Drusus does not actually allow books to leave the library. Right? So anything that comes into that library stays there and doesn't get sent out. But they are willing to um, make copies of sections and excerpts from different books and send them to the different libraries around the world.
That's kind of what I was thinking. They wouldn't really release the books, but they would be able to send some details from library to library.
Hmm.
Um, yes, we could request for sections of information to be sent, but full books do stay within the main library in Drusus. Would you like for me to have some information sent to this library? If we make our way back this way from Harrington, it may be here by the time we return.
I don't know if we're gonna come back this way, you know? We never seem to be in the same place twice. Um,
I have noticed that.
maybe not here, but maybe if we're somewhere where we know we're actually going to be for more than 2 days, um, then perhaps we can check at a library that's with the Iotopia Society and get them to send something.
We may be able to have them send something to Mint. Since that is a fairly large crossroads not far from here, we may return to there, even if we don't pass through Zundair to get there.
True. What about we're heading to Harrington eventually, right? Do you know if there's a branch there? We could just get it sent there and hopefully pick it up?
That's a great question. Do I know if there's a branch in Harrington?
You do not know if there is a branch in Harrington, as you've never visited and never had any reason to ask about it before now.
I will find out. And I get up and I walk over to the dwarf. Excuse me, I apologize I did not get your name before.
Uh, my name is Jomnir Onyx Rock.
Jomnir Onyx Rock?
Mhm.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Jomnir. Um, do you by chance know if there is a library in Harrington?
Uh, Not one of ours. There might be one there. Harrington likes to keep to themselves. So,
Understood.
you're,
There
you
is a library in Mint, is there not?
oh yeah, for sure.
Understood. If I were able to, would you be able to send a request for some books or some copies to be sent to Mint from Drusus in regards to Carrington?
Yeah, we'll
I'm
we'll
sorry,
Kiritsu.
Kiritsu. Thank you.
we'll include that with the message that you wanted sent there as well. And then your personal letter, like I said, you should send that by messenger service.
Understood. Thank you very much.
All right.
And then go back to Sadzi and let her know. Like, I've requested it to be sent to Mint for us, just to be on the safe side. Harrington does not contain a library that we're aware of. At
Okay.
least not one as part of the Iotopia Society.
Well, hopefully we'll pass back through there.
I think it's very possible that we would end up in Mint, since they do have a teleportation circle. If we do have the need to get out, we may be able to go there, depending on what lies ahead of us in either Harrington or the Hand of Gods.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Thanks for your help, Ore. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
And I'm gonna leaf through the book that I have for a little bit.
Okay. Make a just general intelligence check as you're flipping through the book. And we'll see what information you gather from it.
That's gonna be a 14.
14. Okay. So you're flipping through it, and your first instinct was right. Yeah, this is a lot more involved than what you were thinking. But it does talk quite a bit about how various people go about worshiping. But as you're going through, you get to a section that catches your eye. Um, and it's called uh, Kiritsu's Underlings, the Shadows. And it talks about two Tabaxi brothers, one by the name of Angelic and one by the name of Agile, both with the surname of Shadow.
Well, this is interesting.
So as you continue reading on about that, as that catches your eye, the cliff notes are that they are lesser divines and they are order and chaos incarnate, right, as part of them. One is all about keeping things in order, the other about spreading chaos.
Are there any physical descriptions of these tabaxi?
Um, there are not in this book.
That's unfortunate, but I'm gonna try to keep this in mind, considering that we know tabaxi's named Agile and Shadow. Just, maybe their namesakes or something.
Do you share that since you're probably sitting right across from Ore?
You
Doing all
probably
of
hear me
that
chuckle or
loud.
something.
If you're not saying anything aloud, Ore is just going to continue writing. He just kind of tunes you out as you're listening, as you're reading your book.
I might look over to see if you're still writing, but I probably wouldn't volunteer anything unless I saw you looking up.
At this point, I probably have written 12 or 13 fairly tightly spaced pages of details.
Fair enough. I might nudge you and be like, "Hey, Ori, look at this," and then slide the book over to you and point my finger where it's talking about the Tabaxi being the lesser gods of order and chaos.
Oh. Oh. Oh my. And I just kind of like
Right,
stop what
huh?
I'm doing, like really get into it. This is so Agile and Shadow
I
siblings.
know. I thought it was kind of funny. Who knows if maybe the shadow and the agile that we know, maybe they're like named after these guys, or who knows. I thought it
Now,
was funny.
so this passage in the book, what I apologize, I wasn't paying full attention to it. How long ago is this record?
So this record is from about the time of the fall there, and so it's talking quite a bit about these. But this chapter specifically is called Kiritsu's Underlings.
Okay, so Agile and Shadow are underlings for Kiritsu.
Well, and it's specifically Agile and Angelic. They are both Shadow, is their surname.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they are described as brothers, one being order incarnate, the other being chaos incarnate. So one does their best to keep order, the other to spread chaos.
And specifically, which one is chaos and which one is order?
So it mentions that Agile is order and Angelic is chaos.
That's what I kind of figured. Anywho, I just, thought it was quite interesting. So, and I mean, if they're lesser gods, it's not like they would age or anything.
Yes, but Agile's a counselor, right?
He is
The one that
married.
we know.
He is married to the counselor, to the Grand
Which
Counselor.
he's married to the Grand Counselor,
Hmm.
and he's also a Tabaxi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's married to Marble.
Gotcha.
So Marble is the orange tabaxi. Agile is a tuxedo tabaxi.
And what type of Tabaxi was Shadow? He was a tabby or something.
Shadow was a calico.
Calico. That's what I meant. Calico.
Oh, right, yeah, because he subverts the natural order of things.
Because typically calicos are female.
And if they're male, they're usually sterile.
Yep.
Which gets into a whole nother thing of why he might be a little ball of rage, but
So Shadow is a she, not a he.
No,
no,
Shadow is a he.
Shadow is a he. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Shadow is male. It's just that usually in cats, color tends to be a sex link trait. So when you have like tortoiseshell cats or calico cats, the genes for orange and black color are on the X genes, which is why you don't normally see them in male cats.
Got ya. I see. Interesting.
Genetics.
Yeah. I wonder if we should extend this information to Zamza. I'm not sure if this would help, but Zamza has not been replying.
Yeah, and I mean, don't you think he'd know if like one of his fellow counselors is married to either or named after a lesser god? I mean, that might be the sort of thing that gets talked about.
I am not entirely sure of the romantic entanglements amongst tabaxis and other common folk.
So Satsi, one thing that you would know being a tabaxi yourself is that a lot of tabaxi will take on nicknames that define kind of their personality as well as some of their stronger traits.
Yeah.
So
He could
at
have just been nicknamed after his tendency to be very orderly or whatever.
yeah, well, to
Or
be very agile, because like you saw,
yeah.
you're the only one that has seen him fight, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
quite intense. So
Yeah. So I might mention to Ori, well, it could just be his nickname that everyone calls him that. He's a really good fighter.
But it is still a curious coincidence.
I mean, yeah, it is, which is why I thought it was funny. But like, it's not really uncommon for a lot of Tabaxi to get nicknames sort of based on a characteristic of them. Like, one of my good friends growing up was always Patches, partly because he had a black spot on his eye, and partly because he was an idiot and managed to hurt himself.
And this is a common characteristic in the naming convention of tabaxis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my name's Sadzi, but there's some people who call me Sharpfang.
Oh, I
It,
see.
I got
I,
known as one of the better hunters, so
I can see that about you. You are quite a skilled hunter.
I give him a smile with lots of fang.
With Ore doesn't really have teeth, but he tries to mimic the smile, and it looks, I don't know, probably disconcerting with a robot without teeth trying to smile.
Trying not to laugh, probably failing. But yeah, it's a common thing. So if he's always been a nimble fighter, that would make sense that someone might name him Agile or, you know, something
As
like that.
as more of a descriptor to his acumen.
Yeah,
Understood.
like it's the thing he's known for.
Do you believe this is pertinent enough that we should share with the rest of the group, or perhaps even with the council?
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean, I think they'd find it funny that there's lesser gods with the same, I guess, sobriquets as the one of the guys we're hunting. I don't necessarily know if it's the same people, obviously, but it's interesting and be a nice little tidbit to share over dinner, I suppose. And if somebody thinks we should share it with the council, I'm sure like Elandiel or Mizeki will say something.
They do have a tendency to share a lot and say much.
They also have a tendency to say a lot and not share very much of any importance.
I have noticed that as well. This is interesting information. Regardless of any correlation, it certainly is worth speculation.
Yeah. Plus, it's funny. Maybe I should jot down some notes on the book I found this in and all. Can I borrow a sheet of paper?
Um, yes, you may. And I give her a paper, and
So I don't
in
know. Yeah, I don't know what kind of like info there is on books in this world, but basically title, author, rough page, all that good stuff.
okay, yeah,
and I'll the final notes of my report that I'm sending back to Herido. I'm going to include this information as well as, and kind of leave a note in there that it's worth speculation.
okay. All right. Is there anything else you're wanting to do in the library while you two are here?
Not really. I mean, I might flip through the book a little bit more and see if there's anything else after the chapter on these two lesser gods. Um, but after that's done, and Ori's done with his letter, I'll probably just hang with him for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, once I finish here, I would probably see about getting a map if there's one in town of the underground or under the Hand of the Gods mountains to
Mhm.
Harrington, and maybe with something that has any kind of, if for whatever reason we get lost, I wouldn't mind having a map just on hand how to find my way around, at least back to the High Throne of Bedrock, or even back to Zundir.
Okay. Yeah, so you can go looking for maps. Sazi, are you accompanying him, or are you gonna head to the Dazzling Forest with the rest of the group at this point?
Ooh, tough choice. Ori, are you going to the shows or not really?
I would like to see them. I am fascinated with entertainment, but I would like to try and secure that map before too late.
Fair. Um, is everyone going right now, like Valerian and everyone, or is Valerian going to a later showing?
By this point, everybody is there.
Okay, I'll go with the group.
So, okay.
Or I will go by himself.
Ore goes by himself to try and find a map. Um, so you search around the city for a bit, going to various places where you think would sell maps. And you find maps, but none of underneath the mountains. Um, a few of them suggest that you go and you try the guides, but tell you that likely they won't have one because, giving people maps kind of takes away from their business. If no one knows how to get through the underground but them, then you have to rely on them to get through where you're going.
Right,
You're,
it's a monopoly. I get it.
yeah, you're asking for trade secrets there.
Can you give me this recipe? I'd really like to make the same dish that you're selling me.
So, but yeah, so you spend the time looking for that, and then are you just going back to the Faded Dwarf, or are you gonna meet everybody up at the um, Dazzling
I,
Forest?
I'd go to the dazzling. Like Ore is like, I wouldn't mind seeing a show, and if it's every hour, I can catch any show.
Okay.
So it's a lower priority to him, but he would like to go see the show.
All right. So Ito and Mazeki, you guys are the first at the Dazzling Forest, and you arrive just before 4 o'clock, or just after 4 o'clock when the show has already begun. So the next show starts around five, and then around 6, when the third show is starting, as you're there, is when Alondiel and Valerian show up, and then another hour later, Sadzi shows up, and then about
Okay.
half an hour later, Ore shows up. So at 9 o'clock, when the show starts, when with all of you there, Mazeki and Ito, you've seen this several times now. It's not different. And Valerian and Alondiel, you've seen it a couple times as well. But the show starts with fog covering the stage. So as you enter into the building, there is a semicircle stage up against the far wall, and there are rows of chairs just kind of lining up and filling up, and no one is sitting in the front row when you get there. So where do you all want to sit as you arrive, starting with Ito and Valerian? You can find
I,
seats various, but there is nobody in the front.
I feel like it's a social trap. There's probably nobody in the front because like VIPs are supposed to sit up there.
I'm going up to the front unless someone stops me.
Okay.
But
Yep,
yeah,
Ito's also going front.
Okay.
I was like, but
What
we're
if
just gonna
it's
be
the
like, well,
splash
we're
zone?
going right up there.
Yeah. So no one stops you. So you guys can make your way up there. So Valerian and Alondiel, do you guys um make your way up to the front when you get there?
Is
Yeah.
there room just behind them?
There is a few slots in the second row, but no, not directly behind Mizeki and Ito. There is still plenty of room in that front row with them, though.
Yeah, I'll pop up front.
Okay. So the show starts with the stage being covered in a thick layer of fog. fog, and then you see lights begin to blink in and out of existence in the fog. And then there's this huge splash of water. Those of you in the front row get hit with it. It's just a light drizzle compared to what you are. And then you see coming up out of the fog a massive ship. And then the fog begins to fade, and you see waves of water and the ship traveling along from one side of the stage to the other very slowly. As you see coming in from the back another ship on a collision course towards it. As it turns slowly, it begins to fire off blasts of cannons, and as it makes contact with the ship, you see explosions and pieces of wood go flying. I mean, more water begins to splash up, hitting you in the front row. And then you hear a voice come on and goes, "This is the story about the pirates of the Sea of Sorrows." At which point, everybody begins clapping. The ship
Yay.
that comes in from the back takes center stage as the one that you first saw begins to sink underneath the water. The pirates in the Sea of Sorrows guard the waters between Helena's folly and the wilds. They travel all throughout the sea, between the turtle breeding grounds to the Crimson Cove. It can be dangerous to cross. Many ships have been sunk, or so the legend goes. 500 years ago, the pirates roamed freely. And you see the ship going through, and as it is going through, you see it is passing through various different pieces of land. The land itself seems to be moving more around the ship than the ship going through the land. Starting in the turtle breeding grounds, the ship navigates, heading towards the Crimson Cove. And you see it go, and as it heads that direction, you see the water slowly begin to turn red as it gets up there. They caused many great trouble, robbing all sorts of merchant ships, leaving the wild on their own to fend for themselves. Those brave enough to travel often met their end in the Sea of Sorrows. You see several ships surrounding just a singular, what you recognize to be a traveling ship. And they board it and begin going through, and you see as various different images of pirates pop up, killing various different tabaxi, gnolls, turtles, all sorts of those creatures that you encountered in the wilds. It was a very long time ago, but eventually the goddess Kiritsu sent a savior to help bring order, along with the help of the goddess of the sea and the protector of the sea. The three gods' champions were able to go and fight off the pirates. And you see a turtle on a ship with two tritons, each massively loaded with various weapons and armors, going through on just a small sailing ship, going up to these large pirate ships and getting on board and just ripping through the pirates. And so, the Sea of Sorrows is now safe. thanks to the goddess of order, the goddess of the seas, and the protector of the seas. What happened to the heroes? Some say they were taken up to live with the divines. Others believe they are still out, wandering about, protecting those who travel. But one thing we do know: the Sea of Sorrows is named for all of those who died there. At this point, everybody begins clapping as the fog begins to fade in to the stage again. You look around and there are a few people that seem to be crying from the show. And then you see a group of several different elves and dwarfs, all in various different robes, come out and begin to take their bows. These are the master illusionists who put on the shows.
I'm gonna clap a lot. And is there a way to give them money?
You can definitely just throw some coins up onto the stage. You see a few other people that do this, and they go through and collect it up after every show.
I will throw a silver onto the stage.
All right.
Can we tell who the technicians are who watered us?
No,
Valerian's gonna fight someone.
no.
You
Valerian's
do
gonna
not
take
need
a
to
gold
get
coin.
revenge.
He's just gonna chuck it at someone's head. It's a tip, but it's a
It's a
aggressive
malicious tip.
Yeah.
It's an aggressive review. It's a
Okay.
Yelp review. Gonna
Ito
make
is
them
going to
Yelp.
toss up 2 gold coins.
Okay.
God, I don't have any money at all.
It's because you spent it all.
It is.
That's what happens when you spend your money. All right. So, by the time the final show finishes, it's about 9:45. Ore has seen the show once. The rest of you have seen it a few times.
It's a great
How
show.
big is this theater, the stage?
So it's about 20 feet from end to end. So it's not that big. The illusions would grow and shrink to give the illusion that they were going further off into the distance or coming closer.
Okay, and so how large were the ships comparatively to the stage?
Comparatively to the stage, they were when they were all the way at the front, they were about 5 feet from end to end.
Okay, so it was kind of like a mini production, but still pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and it takes a whole squad of illusionists to get all of the sounds and the effects and various things going, as well as the fog cloud.
As we're all
So,
uh,
Mizeki and Ito, you would notice by the time you're watching your fourth show that it is now a different group of people that are putting on this show.
Ito is 100% trying to ask one of the groups, if he can find them, how he becomes one of the actors.
Yeah, so you can find a few of them off in the audience afterwards, and they're like, you go to school for a very long time at any one of the wizard academies, and you specialize in illusions, and once you can perform illusions and pass the test, we'd gladly take you on.
Ah, so less practical effects then.
Yeah. The
Now,
only practical thing we do is we have a couple of explosions that shoot water into the crowd.
I mean, I have my.
He sort of sighs.
can I talk to some of the illusionists and ask if maybe, like, what do they know about the backstory? Can they give me more information? Because this seems awfully familiar.
Goes, sure. What specifically are you looking for? Most of us just kind of memorize the script, so we don't have a whole lot of details, but we know a bit more than what we tell.
Well, yeah, you'd have to. But like the uh Kiritsu, the God of Order coming and all her champions and whatnot. I'm just curious, like, what kind of battles went on.
Mm-hmm.
Got
Yeah.
more details on that.
Well, it wasn't just Kiritsu. She had a single champion, and then Anrin Remeloth, goddess of the seas, she had a single champion. And then Fingerrod, the protector of the sea, he had a single champion. And so Fingerrod and Anrin, they're both Triton. So they're very much involved in the seas and everything that goes on there. And Kiritsu steps in anytime things get a little bit too chaotic. She'll send in a champion to help restore order. And so she sent in a turtle because she is one herself.
Oh, neat. Like, I heard she also kind of likes Tabaxi too. I was wondering if it was like one of the same ones.
Well, she likes everybody that helps bring order. But her champion in this story was definitely a turtle. I don't know if she had other champions in other areas, but for the Sea of Sorrows, she grabbed a turtle from we think from the wilds, but we don't actually know where they came from.
Fair, yeah. No, that's really cool. So, where did you learn these all your illusions? Is it all like specific to this show, or?
Well, the illusions that we did are specific to this show, but we can do all sorts of things. Um, we we went to the schools of magic here. I attended in Drusus.
Cool. Like, I've got a little bit of ability, but not usually with like illusions and stuff.
Oh yeah. What can you do?
Mostly set things on fire.
Well, I mean, a lot of people can do that.
I cast dancing lights and I make them spin above her head.
They go, "That's very good. You can do lights. That's awesome."
I'm gonna
That's not. Wait a minute.
use.
And I look over my shoulder to Londiel and kind of glare at him.
I was gonna use minor illusion to make little feathers appear around her too. We're just having a great time, but I'm gonna do it in secret.
Okay.
Well, I know I didn't do it, so.
I got a 20.
All right. You got a 20 on your sleight of hand to hide that you're casting the spell. So
Yes.
feathers appear and they go, You're talking yourself down, little lady. You've got all sorts of skills there with illusions, it seems, unless you just spontaneously grow feathers."
Not most days. I wish I could claim responsibility for these, but I have a feeling some of my friends are making fun of me.
We're helping.
Ito, meanwhile, is just like hovering the ever burning torch somewhere behind her and pretending it's an illusion of fire.
Mm-hmm. Your friend that wanted to be a part of the show is definitely doing his best to be a part of the show.
There was an ever burning torch?
Yeah, that was from back in the mayor's
That's right. Okay.
basement, the old
Uh,
guard
I
barracks.
drop dancing lights and I use thaumaturgy to change the color of the flames.
Okay.
Am I allowed
green.
to chill touch my own party? Because I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, just, if they retaliate, they retaliate. And if you all just kill each other, then, I'm sure that will be an entertaining spectacle for everybody, but maybe not the most beneficial.
I'm just going to turn around and glare at all of them that I can see.
Valerian finds this all very amusing. He's still in his seat just watching you guys. He thinks this is more interesting than the actual show.
Ore is sitting next to Valerian and also just kind of watching this second show.
The moment Sudzi turns, Ito just kind of freezes and very slowly puts the torch behind his back. It is still very much visible, but
And green.
Yeah, you know that look that cats sometimes give you when they're like, I'd like to kill you, but you're bigger than me, but don't think I haven't thought about it when you go to sleep? That's the look she's giving them right now.
That's just when they have their eyes open.
And aren't
That's
trying
not
to
true.
get food from you.
Okay, well, with my cats, that's 90% of the time, so.
All right. So, anything else you would like to do this evening, or is it time to retire in the Faded Dwarf?
Did anybody ask if they serve dinner? I'm getting kind of hungry.
Well, shite.
No.
It's okay.
I mean, someone around here will serve dinner.
Well, worst comes to worst, as long as you like your meat rare.
Yeah, Satsi did buy 20 pounds of meat yesterday. Well, earlier today,
It's
actually.
delicious.
Gonna be constantly munching on meat
That is
throughout
so
the
much
day.
meat.
You want some?
Or wait,
I'm more of a veg man.
wait, it was 40 pounds, wasn't it? I think it was 40 pounds.
It
She
was an
has 20
obscene
pounds
amount
left.
of
Yeah.
meat.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was 20 golds worth.
We're gonna be on the road for like a month.
And oh, that reminds me.
Is
Elendil,
any
do you
of the
mind if I
meat
keep this in your bag?
You want to put meat that will rot in the bag.
Has anything ever rotted or gone cold in that bag when it was already hot when you put it in there?
out
Oh.
of character? Do we
Yes?
know that there is no air in the bag, so it wouldn't be able to rot?
That's not how the bag works.
If I cast Spare the Dying on the meat, will it stay from spoiling?
You know, that might work.
No,
It's
it
already
It's
won't.
already dead.
It's not dying. It's dead. We need a chest
Spare
of
the several.
preserving.
Spare the very long dead.
Spare the
No,
ribs.
Well, I have mending.
don't give Sadzi any ideas though, because next time she's gonna be like, "Can we put this live pig inside of the bag of holding?"
I would not put a whole live pig inside the bag of holding. Have some faith in me.
Spare
I
the
would go for
ribs.
guinea pigs. They're good. They're like little peanuts.
So
Snack sized.
let's find out if they have
Mhm.
anything to feed us at the place where we're sleeping, and if not, we will find a place because I'm sure dwarves know how to do drink and food.
Well, that is true.
Do they have dinner for us at our lodging?
No, that is just an inn. It does not have any food.
Curses on an inn tavern
Correct. Just an
or
inn.
a
Is there
tavern.
food nearby?
Um, there is food nearby. You could go back and get the food where Mizeki named the whiskey burger.
Oh yeah, we could go to the Whiskey Burger. They're good. we
Oh
should go
yeah,
there.
we
Whiskey
did say we
Brother,
want to go there.
right?
Let's go there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, there's also a couple other places that you could check out if you wanted to instead.
I love how half of our campaign is just us eating at random things. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, diners and dives.
I mean,
Welcome to Flavortown. For some reason, underground.
hey,
Flavor-
Flavortown is a
Dwarven
state of
village. It's
mind.
got a very perfectly understandable reason to be underground today.
It's
Okay.
the Flavor Undertown.
All right. Well, you can definitely go and get some food, and eat up, enjoy some more. And then, if there's not anything else you want to do besides food for the evening, we will go ahead and fast forward to the morning.
There is one thing I wanted to do
Okay.
since we're actually having a night of not being on the road. Ora is going to try and get the onyx cuboid out of the bag
Mm-hmm.
and kind of inspect it a little bit since we have like a peaceful night
Okay.
without a lot of onlookers.
Okay. Yeah, especially since you and Alondiel are in the same room, easy enough to get out. Um, so, uh, assuming Alondiel lets you, because it's in the bag of holding.
Yeah, I let him.
All right, yeah. So you're able to pull that out. What are you wanting to do?
I'm gonna inspect it. I'm gonna try and like really see if I can decipher what it is. If there's, because I think the last time I kind of looked over it, I could tell it was somewhat hollow. So I'm looking for any kind of seams, any possible way to open it. If I spin it the right way, will Pinhead come out? Like, I want to find out if there's Xenobites.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and make an investigation check.
I'll help him
Okay.
and cast guidance.
All right. So with
Thank you for
advantage plus a
helping.
d4.
Gotcha. Rerolling for that advantage. Not much better. And then a d4.
Yep, for guidance.
Can I stack guidance? Because I have that as well.
No, you cannot.
Oh, it's making me roll 2.
We'll just
didn't mean
take
to
the
roll
first
2.
one when it
Take
shows
the
up.
first one.
So 2.
So 13 total.
Okay. So you begin looking around on the Onyx Cuboid, looking for any kind of seams or anything about it. And Alondiel, you're just kind of watching and kind of giving pointers to him. When all of a sudden you notice Ore's eyes go black. And you've seen this happen before. But something else happens this time. You see the Onyx Cuboid glow with a shimmer of blue light for a brief second as this happens, and then the shimmer goes away. Ore, as you're examining this, everything goes dark. And then you see you're back in the tower. Jinzen is there. And you're hearing a conversation. You can't see him, but you hear him very clearly speaking. Do you think he'll remember when he wakes up? And then you hear another muffled voice, a female voice, go, "It is best that he does not. It is dangerous for him to know." And then you come back, your vision restored. Alondiel, how do you react as you see all of this happening with the cuboid and Ore's eyes going black?
I recoil a little bit and I watch. I don't touch the orb because I don't know what's going on. It looks like it powered him down, and I don't want it to power me down. So I'm just gonna back up and watch cautiously
So
for him
yes.
to boot back up.
So as your eyes come back, you see Alondiel just backing away from you, recoiling like he's afraid a bit, unsure.
So was this a memory or was this something else?
It seems like the memories that you've had before, where you've had just the sudden images pop into your mind.
Okay, so it was Jinzen talking to somebody else, but I couldn't see them. I could just hear them.
Mm-hmm. But you could see that you were back in your observatory in the tower.
Could I tell it was Jinzen's voice and then a woman's voice?
Mm-hmm.
And which voice said which part?
So Jinzen was the one asking if you would remember, and the female was saying it is best if he does not.
Got it. And did the female voice sound familiar to Ore, or was it just just an unknown voice?
It was an unknown voice.
Okay. So as Ore kind of comes out of it and his eyes go back to normal. That was peculiar.
I thought you died.
No, I had a memory. I've had a few of them since we've been traveling together, but it happens inconsistently.
That was crazy. Did you touch anything? Like you were looking at it. This little it gives off a blue light, and then you're just like shut down.
I remember being back in the tower and I could hear Jinzen's voice, and a voice I don't remember. They were speaking quite possibly about me.
Interesting. Think it was tied to whatever you were doing with the orb? You wanna the cube? You wanna press on more, or I don't know? It's kind of trippy.
So Ore looks back at the cube. Has anything changed on the cube since I've come back?
Nope. It looks exactly the same, and you don't find any seams on it, any way to open it. So
There's no other markings or like sigils or anything on it that I can find.
correct. You just have Alondiel's report that it glowed blue for a moment, but you didn't see it happen.
Having seen it happen, I want to make a check myself.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a religion check because you guys know this is a religious artifact.
15.
So you have heard of ancient artifacts from the different divines that are used to store power and energy, but this doesn't match them in description, but it does in effect.
I think you somehow released a little bit of the energy and it triggered your memories.
Do I feel any sort of way like following this? Not just having a memory, but like physically, do I feel like anything outstanding?
No, you don't feel any different than you normally do whenever you get one of these memories. So everything just seems to be fine. Um, your memories have happened randomly. So as far as you're concerned, this could just be coincidence.
Okay. Ori kind of looking at the box and seeing nothing has changed from his perspective this time, not really feeling anything different. I think I
Did
should
you
return.
learn anything new that might help with getting your memories back?
Well, I retrieved a memory. I'm not sure. The memories come inconsistently, as I was saying before. There's not a flood of memories, just a singular memory that stands out. I'm not sure. I have to process what I'm remembering right now. I would like to return this to the bag.
I open the bag and hold it open for you to put it right back.
You don't share that information with Ore about what the box or like the divine element to that.
Well, I said it seemed like energy came out with the little blue, and my hypothesis is that like that power triggered something in you,
Mm-hmm.
like
Would
that release.
Alondiel, what's your passive perception?
It is 16.
Okay. And what's your passive insight?
16.
Okay. You would actually get the opposite impression that instead
Opposite
of
pressure. Oh,
releasing
it took
energy,
some.
it took some.
Ah, it pulled
Ore,
some stuff out of you,
Ore is the battery.
or well, no, because I don't know what he didn't tell me anything about it. So, uh, you know what? It thinking. Let's open the window, enjoy the last little bit of starlight before we go underground for who knows how long to get through the mountains.
I agree. And then Ore is going to park himself at the window, staring at the stars for his downtime.
Okay. All right. So you all sleep comfortably through the night, or trance as races need. In the morning, you get the knocks on your door to wake you up in time for you to go and make your 6 o'clock meeting to descend down into the mountains. So you meet Jocelyn as she is waiting for you. As you approach, she goes, "Good, you're right on time. You ready to descend?"
I think so.
All right. And who all cannot see in the dark?
I can't see in the
Ito
dark yet.
Ito raises a hand holding
It's just
the
me
ever
and
burning
Ito again.
torch.
Yeah, it's just me and Ito now.
All right, Ito and Mizeki. And she goes, "All
Until
right,
next level.
good. Looks like you've already got your own light source." And then she'll turn to Mizeki and goes, "What about you? Do you have a light source?"
I like to be in the dark,
All right. Well,
so we'll be okay.
I'll make sure you don't get lost, and hopefully everyone else that can see in the dark will help make sure you don't get lost too. But let's
Thank you.
head on down. And
Yeah,
we're headed to the High Throne of Bedrock. We should be there in 4 days. Um, uh, and we'll lead you there as best we can. Uh, Hopefully, we don't run into any trouble and stay away from the fighting that the dwarfs are doing right now. But we should make good time. And she turns and begins walking into the mountain.
I uncomfortably follow. I will miss the sky.
All right.
Since my dark vision's out for 300 feet, I pretty much can see past where everybody else can see, right?
Yeah, you've got 300-foot dark vision?
Yep.
Dang.
Twilight domain.
Yep. Yep, you can
Ore
see.
sees
He can
everything.
he can also grant it to the rest of us. By the way,
Yes, for an hour once a day, or another hour if I use a spell slot.
is it an action to do?
That's a good question. Is it an action or is it just I do it? Let me see.
Yeah, because if
I
it's
mean, you're
an
not in
action, then
combat, so
well, yeah,
action
but
is.
it might be worth saving for if we look like we're gonna
Oh,
get into
I
combat.
would certainly
Right.
save it for more precarious situations and then grant it to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, as an action, I can share a dark vision with up to 5 willing creatures that I can see within 10 feet, and it lasts for an hour.
Okay.
So now we do what we do best. We walk and walk and walk
You walk
Let's
and
go
walk and
accidentally
walk.
start a war.
and
All
walk some
right.
more.
So
Oh, the
you
war's already started.
Let's accidentally start another one.
so you begin making your way wandering through the dwarven caves. Um, and so every now and then, Giselle will stop, look down a path, listen for a bit, and then decide to continue on. And other times she'll decide to loop back and go a different way. You get the impression that she's doing her best to avoid where she's hearing the sounds of conflict up ahead to make sure you're staying out of it. The first day goes by uneventful. You find a place to set up camp and camp the night in the underground. The next morning, you continue on heading down again, similar things happening. You pass through a small town on your way. It's got about 10 houses built into the mountains that you can see, and there are a few gnomes and drow and a couple dwarfs going about some business here. But Giselle just kind of waves you on through as you continue on past the town. The end of the second day, you guys take your rest and camp. The start of the third day, you begin making your way, continuing on towards the High Throne of Bedrock. After about 6 hours of traveling with your breaks for meals and things along the way, you see some dwarfs approaching you. Specifically, you see 2 mountain dwarfs and 2 gray dwarfs. One of the mountain dwarfs is riding on top of a riding lizard, so a large riding lizard. As they get close enough, you recognize one of the mountain dwarfs, and he speaks, and he goes, Joselli, we will take them from here. You are dismissed. How much did you promise to take them, and how far? And we will pay the rest of it. And she goes, well, they paid me for the 4 days to the high throne of Bedrock, but they talked about that they might have me take them all the way through the other side of the mountain. So that's going to be another 130 gold.
Yeah, Valerian will and say, of course we had contracted to go all the way through the mountain, and wink at Joselli.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, all right, and he pulls out a coin pouch and hands it to Joselli, and she takes it and begins running off. At this point, you recognize this dwarf is Torrigg.
Oh,
Now
it's
we know
Torrigg. Okay, so
that
the moment we
Valerian is evil.
recognized him, got it.
Why am I evil? I got her a good tip.
You broke the law. It's fine.
It's more of a bend, but okay.
And Torrigg
We
turns.
We were thinking about contracting her through the
That's
whole
true.
rest of the mountain.
Yeah.
So Torrigg is here. Cool. Torrigg turns.
So he turns
yeah, no.
to you all and he goes, I thought you might be coming through here. And I'm very glad that we have run into you. Now, unfortunately, you are all deemed a threat to our kingdom. And you are now under arrest.
Oh, that guy.
So,
Yeah,
if
this
we
is the guy
turn
we
and
don't
leave,
want to run
That's
into.
you.
I instantly cast Eyes of Night, so everybody has the dark vision of 300 feet.
And long spear out. How many of them are there?
There are 4 of them that you see. One is riding a giant riding lizard.
So Valerian's not going to attack immediately, but he's going to make it very clear that we counter his arrest with not being arrested, and we will be proceeding through either back the way we came or out to our goal. But he's not having any of this arrest.
Torrigg
Neither is Ore.
looks at you and he goes, you do not get to pass through the mountains or return to where you go with what you know.
What do we know? I'm going to ask him.
I think he thinks we know a lot more than we actually do know.
Oh, we do know a lot more than we actually do.
Yeah,
Know,
Valerian
Bruce,
is going
quiet.
to actually cut Mizeki off because he's very aware. He's been worried about this for a little bit, actually. There's only, I think it was 3 of us that heard what he said, so he doesn't want
Yeah.
everyone else to be in danger if they hear it. Like, if they're going to, like, execute us because we know they're secret, he'd at least rather spare part of the party. That's why he's, like, fighting, because he's like, what are they going to do to us because we know they're secret?
So, Mizeki, at this point you hear a voice inside your head. Ed, it's familiar to you. He goes, you should not resist. You know how I can bring you into the ring?
Yeah?
They have a Dao. He's doing the same. There's way more than you can know.
Okay.
I don't want you to die. I don't want to die.
Yeah, I get that. Fair enough. I will kind of wave at Valerian a little bit and just say, I think it's best that we comply right now, given some additional information from the outside. And no, I don't think Ito knows, because it was specifically things that Ori revealed to us.
Yeah, Ore revealed you
Yeah.
were Mizeki was
You
at
were off
the
helping
camp.
burn things, and I was at the camp. So Mizeki doesn't
Yeah.
know, Ori doesn't know. It's Sadzi, Valerian.
I think it's
And
Shadzi,
Ore.
Valerian, and Ore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I think
thing that we know, for listeners who may have missed it, is that they still have a king, and that is highly frowned upon in the current day and age since the fall of all the kings and the Kingslayer. So probably not going to go great.
I'm going to attempt to discreetly message Valerian
Okay.
and just let him know that I have been informed by a reliable source that there are many more of them inside of a small contained space. We are in grave danger.
Is he able to do that without any issue?
Yeah, he can cast his message.
Yeah.
So Valerian looks around and he'll do a perception check because he's thinking like in the hills or something like that, and then he'll start talking. Even as he perceives, whether he perceives things or not, he got a 4, so he perceives nothing. He'll begin talking to Torrigg and just kind of talking about terms.
That seems like a good plan.
Yeah. So basically, he'll lower the spear, and say we don't wish them any ill, but why are we under arrest, and what are the terms?
Ito is looking back and forth, confused, just kind of like whispering, "What secrets do we know? What?"
actually, Ito, you would know that because you were with me when we said goodbye to Sephin.
Yep.
As one of
Fair.
the only members of the party that isn't committing dwarf treason.
Now, admittedly, the question is, would Ito remember that as being a secret? Because he is also from a place that still has a king.
Yeah, it was House Kingsley. He thought it was weird.
So, all right. So, Torrigg responds and he goes, "You're being arrested because you are deemed a threat to our people. The information that you hold is not to leave the mountains. Since you are outsiders, we will not kill you unless we have to. You will be arrested and confined to a prison in the High Throne of Bedrock for the remainder of your days, or until proven that you are reliable and will not share our secrets. But nobody has ever been proven reliable."
I mean, Valerian's not very stoked about this, but he is going to negotiate that. I mean, we want to go to the High Throne Bedrock anyways, so he'll look to the others and say, we'll follow you to the High Throne Bedrock, but we stay armed, we stay with our weapons, and we won't attack you. Like, otherwise, the alternative is just like fighting right here in the middle of the valley.
He goes, "I am sorry, you may not keep your weapons, and you will accompany us in shackles."
That's gonna be a hell no.
Yeah, no.
Okay. In that case, I need everybody to go ahead and go to Fantasy Grounds and open up the Dwarven Caves map.
I have it listed as Dwarf Tunnels. Is that the same one?
No, there's a second one. I just shared it called Dwarven Caves.
It's just like we're willing to go peacefully, but not bound.
All right.
Yeah, Torrigg is definitely not my favorite NPC.
We could have just killed him.
Yeah, but that's evil.
Is it really? Like, killing him after we captured him, sure. Objectively evil. Killing him while he's still attempting to kill someone else, not as evil.
Oh, you mean in the battle? Yeah, I mean in the battle, but we
Yeah.
needed the info.
Did we? Is it really helping us?
All right. And then let's go ahead and
I rolled a 1 for initiative.
roll initiative.
Ruh-roh.
So, what's your total initiative then, Valerian?
1.
Oh, so you have no bonus to it? Okay.
I got a 3 plus 5.
So 8.
Or
10.
3 plus 2, 5 total.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay. Sadzi, you got a
Well,
10.
Valerian,
Yes.
you weren't the only one that rolled a 1. I rolled a 1, so I get a 3.
Okay.
Mizeki has a
Nice.
17.
Mizeki has a 17.
Ore has an 18.
And Ore has an 18. Okay.
This battle is off to a great start.
All right. So let's get into this. A couple of you are still opening up Fantasy Grounds, it looks like.
As just a note, when they come into range, I will remember this time to stab them with my long spear. So I'm saying that here in case I forget it.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start showing people. So first up here, a goblin comes out running from behind these walls of stone right up to Ito. And
He gonna get stabbed
yeah,
because he came in range.
Pam!
so Ito, you are being stabbed by a short sword.
That's a mess.
That is a 22 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. You take 7 damage
4. Heavy armor master.
plus 15 additional.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And then he swipes at you again with a dagger that he pulls out, stabbing you in the gut with it. That's only a 13 to hit, so I think that's going to miss.
That'll miss. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then next up is this.
So just to clarify, would Ito recognize it as a similar sensation to when Valerian smited him?
No. No, you would not.
Oh no.
All right. Next, this dwarf. This one is going to run up. This is one of the mountain dwarfs. They will dismount the riding lizard that they were on and run up to you. And they pull out this big old maul and are going to strike at you. That is a 20 to hit.
Ito again. Yes, that hits.
All right. That is 13 damage. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Any chance I get ham on that 13?
Any chance you get what on the 13?
Heavy armor
heavy armor.
master.
It's magical damage because it's a magical weapon.
Ah, lovely.
So if heavy armor master does not apply to that. Also the first point of damage was also the first 7 was also from a magic weapon. So
I don't know why it specifies non-magic. I hate it.
so yes.
It is weird.
It's because everything specifies non-magical. Magic overcomes damage reduction, basically.
Unless you're a barbarian.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. If you're still conscious, that is.
That'll be an 18, and yes, I am, with a whole 9 health.
Okay. So you save there. It is now the giant lizard's turn. And it is going to shift into a dwarf. So let me.
Oh, that's inconvenient.
What would be awesome is if it was 7. It's not, but that'd be hilarious.
I don't know.
If it was Sephin, he would have chilled the guy out by now.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Like, whoa, maybe we don't need to stab them.
Wait, wasn't that dude on the giant lizard?
The J was on the giant lizard and jumped off to run up to Mizeki.
Got it.
Yep.
Hey,
And then the giant lizard turns into a dwarf and is going to run up and is going
Dwarves
to
are into weird stuff.
go and slice at Ito. That is a 10 to hit.
That's good.
Miss, thank God.
Okay. And
Someone hit someone other than Ito.
that is it. And then the last person to go is going to be up here. Yep, and it's going to come all the way down here, right up next to Ito, and is going to stab you with their rapier. That is a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, that is an automatic critical hit
Oh no.
because they are an assassin and you haven't acted yet. So that is
Ouch.
I
60
Hopefully
points
Ito
of
doesn't.
damage.
Yeah, hopefully Ito doesn't instant die here.
I think Ito instant dies here.
What's your max HP?
you only auto crit on surprised creatures.
Oh, you're right.
It's
Okay.
the advantage
You
on
you have
haven't acted.
advantage if I haven't gone, but
Right,
you
right.
only auto crit on
Woo!
surprise because that would have auto killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So it's 30.
Y-
Well, he has to roll still because he can still crit, which would
Yeah.
still be bad.
Right. Yeah. We'll roll again. I doubt I'm gonna crit, because that's my luck here. But the damage
Shit.
is 32.
So you're unconscious, but
Yeah,
not dead.
very much down.
Okay.
Very down.
Never let anyone say that Ito is not a fantastic meat shield.
And then Ore, you are up.
Okay. I am going to target Torrigg Kamnak
Mm-hmm.
with Wither and Bloom. Second level spell. 10-foot radius sphere centered on him. Each creature of my choice in that area must make a constitution saving throw, taking 2d6 necrotic damage on a failed, or half as much on a successful one. In addition, one creature of my choice in that area can spend and roll one of its unspent hit dice and regain a number of hit points equal to the roll plus your spellcasting modifier, so that would be Ito.
Oh wow, okay. Nice.
Okay.
I'm waiting on the dice. 7 total damage, necrotic.
7 damage.
Do I regain 1d10 plus con or just 1d10?
One unspent hit dice. So if you have a modifier on top of it, you'll get the whole hit dice.
I think it adds your modifier though, right? Is what it said.
Oh, let me see.
Equal to your spellcasting ability. Yep. So
Yeah,
he
equal
gets your
to
wisdom
my
instead.
spellcasting. So +5.
Nice.
Okay.
Ito got a 9, so he heals 14.
All right. Anything else, Ore?
That was my regular action. So I'm going to bonus action into my starry form and target Torrigg again.
Okay.
And it seems that D&D Beyond is really slow at the moment.
It's because I've got like 15 pages open. I'm taking
So
up
the
all of its bandwidth.
That's probably true. That is a terrible roll. I don't think 10 is going to hit him.
10 is not going to hit.
Gotcha. And if I move, I'm moving through that goblin's attack of opportunity, aren't I?
Yep.
I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Mizeki.
Can I stand on Ito and cast? As long as I move off of him before my turn's over.
Yeah,
It's
you can get up
Ito's
there.
on
You'll
the ground.
provoke opportunity attacks when you leave, though. Because
Actually,
No, I won't, because I'm a rogue and I can disengage.
Oh yeah.
So
So I'm going to
Could
cutting
I actually
action
move and just put
disengage
myself right in front of that goblin? I know I'm kind of cutting back in.
You want to step to the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I'm going to boop up on stand on Ito, and then I'm going to thunder wave. It worked really well last time.
okay. So let's see
The
here.
save is
Ori, can
13
you
con.
clear your targeting stuff?
Is it still showing? It's not showing on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
It's gone for me.
Yeah, it's there for me. Like,
That's weird
Try
because
clicking clear targets on your screen, Ori.
yeah.
I didn't have it showing on mine at all.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing Thunder Wave. So it's going.
On the cube in front of
Yeah.
me.
Ori, just stop targeting people. Like,
I've
because
stopped. Is it still showing?
might
I
be me.
clicked it off. I hit the clear button.
well, it brought them up for Ori. So
That's weird.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't see it either. It's all
Yeah.
on your end.
Woo!
okay. So it's a 15-foot cube. Okay.
Yep.
So it's
It
going to hit.
originates from somewhere along my square, so.
Right. Okay. So I will do these one at a time. We'll start with Ranmira. And what kind of save is it?
It is a DC 13 con save, and they take 10 damage full or 5 half.
Okay. So
If they fail, they also get pushed 10 feet away.
all right, Ranmira gets a 22. And then next is Jinzil, who gets a 21. And then Bramond. And Bramond is a gray dwarf. I didn't mention that when he came running out, so I figure I should mention that now. He gets a 21. Torrigg gets a 26. Gimdall gets a 23. And then last is Nerbel, who gets a 14. So they all succeed.
Did they all succeed against my Wither and Bloom?
Oh, what was the DC on that? I didn't actually roll for any of them on that. I
Oh,
just
that
gave
was-
Torrigg the damage.
No, that's everybody within 10 feet of him in a circle of my choice would have taken the whatever I rolled. I apologize. The 7 damage. It was a con save of 15.
A con save of 15? All right, let me roll that for all of them. So. Do they take the damage if they succeed?
They take half if they
half.
succeed.
Okay. Well, I'm giving Torrigg back 4 points then. Because he succeeded. So let's see, I need to do Bramond, Gimdall.
It should have been all of them.
Right.
I think.
I'm just doing the ones that I haven't rolled yet.
Gotcha.
And then Ranmira. Okay, so Ranmira failed, but everybody else succeeded. So everybody else takes 3. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Mizeki? Just moving out of the way?
Yeah, moving out of the way.
Okay, so cunning action, disengage, and move down.
I'm going to go 20 feet.
You're gonna run away. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
this is going poorly.
Okay. So the next thing that you see is Torrigg rips this talisman that he's wearing around his neck off, throws it into the space that you vacated, Ore, and you see some people pop out. So we're gonna have one of them pop out right here.
Multiple people?
Yep.
Out of the same talisman? Objection.
Yep.
This is what I told you. They're doing the thing I do.
Uh-huh.
They're just a higher level, and they were inside the talisman. I told you. You didn't believe me.
You did tell us. No, Valerian believed you too. It's just his terms were so unreasonable There's
Yeah,
no
no.
way our party would be
Yeah,
like,
no.
okay,
It
we're
was
cool
one
with
of
that.
those. It was one of those situations where it's like we can't agree to that. I'm sorry.
Life in prison with no chance of parole.
Yeah, with no
Yeah.
trial because
Yeah,
of one sentence that was said. Yeah.
I don't trust Stefan that much. He didn't ever write or send a letter.
I think it'd still be worth name dropping.
At this point,
I mean, at this point, we're kind of screwed anyway.
All right.
Quick, teleport away and run.
So, okay. And then Torrigg is going to take his longsword and swing at. Oh, I guess he can't reach anybody. He's still too far back and can't get up there. So he's not going to do anything but chuck a dagger at Ito. That is a 14.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Miss.
Which is why it's a 14. So.
Nice.
Yep. And then this first guy that popped out, who's in the middle here, is going to go ahead and let's see, what does he want to do? He wants to do all sorts of fun things. But the first thing he's going to do is he is going to cast a spell on Valerian. Valerian, I need you to make a wisdom save.
Don't worry, I'm great at these. 5.
Okay. He suggests to you that you surrender, lay down your arms, and submit to being chained up.
that doesn't sound reasonable.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a trick.
That's why
with
we're
that
fighting
spell.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So,
I mean, I feel like it'd be something like surrender or more of your allies will die would be reasonable.
this is
Yeah,
the
or
spell's
like drop weapons.
suggestion. Surrender
Yeah.
is a reasonable suggestion.
Yeah, but that's why we're fighting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose
they
with
did
the
just
change
body
of
Ito. Like,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah, with the change of having seen what they did to Ito and then having seen like 6 new people show up, yeah, it might have just become reasonable.
Yeah, I think the wording
Yeah.
of it not being reasonable is more like you can't
And-
command them to kill themselves.
Yeah, no, and it doesn't say like you. It must be worded to sound reasonable, but it can't be anything to harm itself. This isn't asking you to harm it. It's definitely reasonable. So
Yeah, that wording's always been weird because it's like it must be a reasonable thing, such as forcing a knight to give up a 400 gold warhorse.
So yeah. So you have been suggested to surrender and failed your save. So you must take the best course of action to do so on your turn.
On my turn, yep. But I must use my action to do that.
Yes.
I still have my bonus action.
Yes. Next is going to be, oh, let's see, what does this one want to do? Yeah. Let's have this one go ahead and they are going to cast Hold Person on Mizeki. So Mizeki, I need you to make a wisdom save.
10.
You are paralyzed.
I'm not a person. I'm a fae.
Oh,
have to use hold
right.
monster on me.
Have to hold
Get
monster.
wrecked, dwarves.
Right.
I'm not a
Because they
person.
didn't
I
give you
can't vote.
humanoid. Okay.
Yeah, they
Right.
didn't. But they would know that, to be fair, so they
Yeah.
would probably target someone else. But
Yep, they would definitely target, in this case, then Alondio. So Alondio, go ahead and make that wisdom save. Right.
24.
You make it. So, okay. Next. Oh, yes, this guy. Okay. Let's see. What does he want to do? Okay. And let's see. Up to 12 creatures. I need you all to make a wisdom save.
21.
Okay.
11.
16.
I would like to decline.
You just auto fail?
No,
14.
I got a 4.
Okay.
I don't want to
20
make a save, thank you.
All right, so Ore and Alondiel both save. The rest of you are suggested into surrendering by mass suggestion.
Ew, I'm double
Yay.
suggested.
Yep.
I'm so surrendering.
Okay.
Alright,
And then let's see here. This little gnome here is going to. What's he gonna do? Ah, yes. So he pulls out this weird little contraption. Alondiel, you recognize this as something that Alfin was using when you were escorting the counselor to Drusus. And he
I
points
hold
it
my hands up.
he points it directly at you and he goes, "You're going to surrender like the rest of them, right?"
Yep.
And he will hold his action for if you do not surrender, he is pulling this trigger. And then it is Sadzi's turn. Sadzi, you have been suggested to surrender. That is what you can do as your action.
Okay, so I guess any obvious weapon I'll put down.
Mm-hmm. So that
And
would
I will hold-
include your spellcasting focuses. So,
Okay, it's a giant crystal, but yes.
yep.
So I guess this is going to be one of those montages of where I just start unloading everything because I have a light crossbow, a dagger, darts, quarterstaff, slings, and my focus.
Although lucky for you, action economy states you cannot do that. So you
So
should
you can't
just
do
drop
all
one
of it.
thing.
Yep. You drop your one
Yeah.
thing. So.
Okay, then let's drop the quarterstaff.
Yep. So. Well, you can drop everything you're holding and then do one object interaction. So. You can basically
I'm
drop
not even
everything you're
holding
currently
anything.
holding and pull out one more thing and drop it. So.
That's my trick. I'm not
Okay,
holding
let's
anything.
drop the quarterstaff, the crossbow, and the dagger as a show of good faith.
Okay. All right. Any bonus actions that you want to do?
I don't believe I have any. I can make it this time.
Okay. All right. Next is this guy who was hiding. They had really good stealth rolls. So this deep gnome comes running out here, is going to get up here, right next to you, and is going to hold his action to put Valerian in chains when Valerian surrenders on his turn.
What a nice guy.
Yep. This gnome, deep gnome behind you, Alondiel, is going to do the same thing for you. Because you have told that you will surrender or you're being shot in the face. And then it is Ito's turn.
There is an argument to be made about whether literally anything on this earth can make Ito believe that captivity is a good option for him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So you've been suggested into surrendering. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he will I mean, it takes a full action to remove his shield, so he removes his shield.
Okay. And put it down. And drop
And
your weapon.
bonus action, he is going to second wind.
Okay.
Funny enough, he never actually got a turn in that combat, so he never drew his weapon to begin with.
Fair. All right. Okay. Next is this guy who is also hiding. And he is going to come out and... yes. Let's see here. What can he do? Start making his way down to Mizeki. And so he's there ready for you to surrender on your turn. And then this guy is
We
this
didn't
one.
specify how we surrendered, right? Do we have to surrender and throw down our things?
It was so that you present yourself for chains. So, all right. So Ore, this dark elf behind you, is up next, and he is going to. Let's see here. Yes. Okay.
What if I surrender into my genie space and present myself for chains?
All right. Ore, I need you to make a wisdom save.
That is a 22.
Okay, you make it. All right.
Or it's like, Viva la Resistance!
And this one is up last of them. It's going to go. Let's see here. Yep, can't get up, so it's just going to pull out their javelin, go into a rage, and is going to throw said javelin at Ore. That is a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is 8 points of damage.
Got it.
And then, Alandiel, it is your turn. Now, you haven't been suggested to surrender, but you have been threatened.
You have been strongly suggested.
So what would you like to do on your turn, Alandiel?
I announce to the guy pointing it at me that I'm going to slowly put my shield on my back. Don't shoot me. And be like, I don't know who woke up and chose violence today, but like I'm sure we can all be reasonable here. And I do not draw my sword and keep my hands away from it.
Okay. And do you put your arms out because you've got that deep gnome there ready, waiting to put you in chains?
Yeah.
Yep. And as soon as you do, he will clamp you up in chains. And that is your turn. Valerian.
Valerian will drop his spear because he's been suggested to do so, and then he'll put. Interesting. Anyway, I'll ask afterwards. Anyway, then he'll put his hands out so he can get shackled. He'll get shackled, and then he's gonna use his daunting roar because he's real pissed off, and try and make these guys around him scared of him.
Okay. What is the range and save on that?
It's range 10, DC I think it's 14.
Okay. And what kind of save is it?
Let me see real
Wisdom?
quick. Wisdom, DC 13.
Okay. I'm just going to roll
You
for
can just handle it.
everybody because I don't know who all is in that range.
You can just handle it off there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just. This isn't mechanically gonna do anything unless someone's trying to run away. He's just mad.
Yeah. And none of them are going to be running away. So.
Yeah.
All right. So that will take us back to the top of the round, and the goblin will turn to Ore and will look him dead in the eyes, which is, kind of difficult seeing as how he's much shorter. But he will just look and then say, "You surrender or you die."
These dwarves are so accommodating. I can't imagine why they're in a civil war right now.
So is he just
Yeah.
gonna like hold his action based on what I do on my turn?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And then next is Jinsel, who is going to hold his action to put Ito in chains. And then Ranmera is going to do nothing because everybody is already waiting for in chains around him. Bramond is going to pull out a longbow, putting away his sword, and point it directly at Ore, and will go, "What the goblin said."
Or he's like, I don't speak English.
And then, Ore, it is your turn.
Oh, this is quite the Sophie's choice of moments.
Who
Ore,
is Sophie and why is she choosing?
looking at the volume of individuals that have us surrounded, threatening everyone to stop, watching other members of the party just kind of start surrendering because of various reasons. I'll sling my shield back behind my back and extend my arms to be shackled
Okay.
to the little goblin in front of me,
All right.
cocking my head to the side.
Well, he wasn't ready to shackle you. He was, ready to
I
stab
wasn't
you.
prepared.
So,
No,
but
I know he was ready to stab me, but it's like, here.
yep. Okay. Mizeki, it is your turn.
I would like to use my action to surrender myself to Valaris and go into my genie's respite.
Okay.
And then present my arms to be shackled, which should end the suggestion, because I'm not carrying anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stay in there for my 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear what's going on.
Yep.
It's a
Okay.
safe space.
Also, as Ore
Safe
would have dropped the starry form as well.
Okay. This drow next to Sadzi and Ore here is going to take Ore and cuff him. So let's see. That leaves Sadzi and Ito left to be cuffed, and Mizeki is in a ring. So
I mean, if I thought I could get away, I could pop out, use my bonus action to disengage, and then run. But they're gonna catch and kill me. So.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Torrigg is going to just kind of wait, and then Galmore is going to be ready to take Sadzi's surrender. Let's see. Yep, and I think that covers everybody. So Sadzi, it's up to your turn. I guess we already had you do your surrender, so he's going to cuff you on his turn instead of wait to cuff you because you were already there waiting. Do you want to do anything, try and break free on your turn, or just submit at this point?
At this point, I'm just gonna submit because, frankly, we're outnumbered and outgunned.
Okay. And same thing with Ito. They would have already cuffed you because I forgot that you had already had your turn. This fight is big, and I spent 3 hours preparing this because I'm like, the players are gonna resist this. I know they are.
I mean, yeah.
So I was
The
like, all
answer
right,
question is, do you want to live?
yep,
The answers are yes or no.
okay,
I'm gonna just
Well,
enjoy my rock candy and
like
have a lie down.
everybody like had to surrender other than me and Ore. And I'm like, and we're surrounded, and I'm like, I don't have AOE's, so
I take
Yeah.
solace in the fact that I did a small amount of damage and then ignored their suggestion.
yep. I mean, you followed the suggestion.
I did to the letter.
Okay, they're gonna pick up the ring that fell on the ground there
Versus.
because They've got a warlock that can
It's
do
pretty
this too.
obvious, and they're aware of it. Yeah, they've done this
Yeah.
before.
So
Let's hope they don't try to break the ring.
I
I mean, that would
mean,
just make
they
me
could
and
very
all my
easily
stuff pop out.
destroy it to have him pop out.
Yeah. But then someone, probably the goblin, would be crushed by my bed.
So the goblin's nowhere near you right now. The only person near you is this one dwarf.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's not that much stuff in there. It can't fit that much stuff.
I mean, it's like a 10 or a 15-foot space. Like, it's pretty big. It's a
Yeah.
small New York apartment.
So, all right. So you are now all arrested in chains. They start taking weapons and shields off of you as they begin escorting you
That is
towards the city.
That is a long process when disarming Ito. That is a considerable amount of time.
So
Yeah.
they take the shield and weapons. Anything else they take off of us?
They take focuses, everything like that. They're not
So
taking
my
off your
focus is
armor or
chained
stripping
to
things
me.
down there. It's chained to you?
Yeah, the
Yeah, 'cause
astrolabe is
he's-
chained to my arm.
Because he's a warforged.
Right.
Also, technically, he can remake one in an hour.
Okay, but
Yeah.
like, could they snip the chain?
Yeah, they could break
Yeah,
it pretty
They
easily.
could break it. Yeah.
So
The fact that you
Do
can
they t-
remake it in an hour is.
Do they take the ever-burning torch?
no.
Do they take my cloak?
Is it a weapon or a focus? They
If
can
it's not a
identify
weapon
all
or
of that stuff. Like
it's I mean it's a
Yeah.
it's a cloak of protection. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean they would.
I'm coming back out naked, by the way, if they demand I return.
so, all right. And they will take and escort you through to the city. So the first day you'll continue traveling. You'll be watched at night, chained up as they take you. The next day, they wake up, escort you through the city. This city is absolutely massive and sprawling. It opens up into a huge area where the walls and ceiling go up about 1,000 feet. You're not sure how far down you've gone and how far up that is going up into the mountains, but you can see that there are all sorts of stone staircases going up to various different levels of this. They lead you through and take you down a set of stairs, descending further into the mountains, and lead you into this small chamber that has a few cells. They take you and put all 6 of you into a single cell, and then they have you each come present your arms and release you from your shackles.
Valerian is going to grumble and curse at them the entire way. He is not a very happy, almost 7-foot tall cat.
Yeah, Ito, one of the first things he says as soon as the suggestion is over is effectively, Seven failed to mention the welcoming party. I can see why you're at war.
Yeah, was the city like trashed and burning or broken?
No, so the city has not been where the war is happening. It is happening out in the tunnels, as there's at least an effective guard that keeps them out of the city. You get the idea that the dwarf kind of embellished a bit when telling you about how widespread the war was.
We are a civilized people. We stab each other in the tunnel.
So, but yeah.
So once we get into the cell, Stefan is gonna do his little roar thing and turn to everybody else and just be
Seven.
like, not Stefan, sorry, Valerian. We were talking about Stefan on a different channel. Valerian is gonna turn to everybody and he's just gonna roar and he's gonna be like, "These dwarves will pay." That's it. That's all he's saying.
So
Alright.
just to confirm, they took all of our gear. I just want to make sure I'm unequipping everything accordingly.
Yeah, so at this point, they took all of your weapons and focuses, basically rendering you without the ability to cast spells or use weapons. They didn't take any of your armor or anything because they're not worried about that.
Okay, so
So-
I keep my cloak of protection then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And Alondiel
And-
still got the bag.
Yes.
So, does the shield count as a weapon?
Yes.
Are they confiscating the shield? Ah, dang it.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can bash.
And As soon as we get the opportunity, I'm taking the magic bag and anything else we specifically want to protect, and I can put it in the ring if we need.
Good call.
Yeah,
unless,
I would
unless
probably
they're
give
taking
you.
unless they're taking the ring, which they might.
They are.
But okay, I will make another one.
Uh,
If
you.
I'm allowed.
Uh,
There's no magic can occur.
yeah. Can you make it if it still exists, or can you only make it once it's destroyed?
I believe I can just make it by spending an hour, but I will double check. Or you lose it. You can perform a 1-hour ceremony to receive a replacement from your patron.
Okay.
But will you get the stuff back from inside it?
I
Yeah.
am checking. I think the stuff only comes out if it's destroyed. When you exit, you reappear. Any objects left until carried out. If the vessel is destroyed, every object. It doesn't. Okay, so that would destroy the previous one. So yeah, it would make all my stuff dump out. So I won't do that for now.
And they,
But
I'm
Ori
assuming they take the. I'm assuming they take the bag of holding as well.
They are taking it to search it for weapons, but since they don't know what's in it, they'll have to just turn it out and dump everything. So,
Neither do we.
I mean, Alondiel knows what's all in it.
It's got a lot of meat
Oh,
in
it did have a dagger and a sickle in there. I forgot.
Which they'll take those. What else is in there?
All the party money
Okay.
is in there.
There's like 50 paper cranes.
A painting.
There's
Oh yeah, all my meat.
a potion of water breathing, a potion of acid resistance.
Okay, potions will be
cuboid.
taken.
Forgot we stole that painting.
The onyx cuboid is now in their possession.
Uh-huh.
A frankly
Oh, they can
criminal
have
amount of
that.
What are they
meat.
doing with all? What are they doing with all? When they take all this stuff from us, what are they doing with it?
They're taking it out of the area that you're in, so you have no idea what's happening to it after this.
You guys are taking a proper inventory, so when this thing's all resolved, we get our stuff back, right?
Can we get a receipt?
Yeah, we need a receipt.
Yeah, totally. Ask for an itemized receipt.
Sure. All right. So after this happens, over the course of several hours where they're coming in, grabbing stuff, and taking this, eventually, as you are left down to basically just your armor and a few other mundane things that you have on you, Torrigg comes in and he goes, "It took a lot to convince them not to kill you. Because you spared my life, I wanted to make sure that yours were spared. Although I understand it is not much of a life here. But after time, when we believe that you are trustworthy, we will allow you out into the city. But should you try and leave, we will hunt you down."
Are you planning to legally notify our counselor, as you are required to, for taking us prisoner as citizens of other nations?
We have no such requirement here.
Oh, so you want to
Valerian
start a war?
snarls.
Wait, isn't there a dwarven counselor?
There is.
Can I point out to him in dwarven that then we would like to communicate to the dwarven counselor?
Yeah, we are on a mission for the counselors.
Well, we have some
been
of the
there
counselors will be
before you
concerned if we
have.
suddenly go AWOL.
If you check in the gear that you have taken from us, you will find a letter from the counselors for us.
We have been illegally taken prisoner.
Also, I would like my meat, thank you very much.
We'll provide you your meat when we provide you meals.
I have a very specialized diet.
Of sass.
Well, we can accommodate that.
Accommodation would be better handled on my own. Just leave the meat.
I also have a rather specialized diet. It's called Kill Me If You're Going to Keep Me Here.
Ito,
I have recently been freed from wrongful imprisonment by you lot. I would rather not return to it, so perhaps they could simply kill me. Or give me perhaps trial by combat. That would be preferable.
I put my hand on Ito's shoulder and I say, have faith. This is just a moment. We live to fight another day.
I come from another place that has a king, and not one of us there has ever imprisoned someone for knowing that fact. And here you imprisoned a lot of us, where some don't even know.
Well, we do now.
Well, yeah, shush.
Wait, what?
I sense I have made a misstep.
'Cause I
Um,
didn't know that.
So
Oh,
I turn to
yeah.
Mizeki and say, they have a king.
That explains why they're willing to violate laws and murder each other. Okay, fair enough. We
yes.
had
I,
wars about this
yes,
several.
as I previously stated, I can see why they are at war here. Because they do this.
Valerian is still snarling, and you guys would know that it's taking every ounce of restraint that he has to not make the situation much worse.
Is this like an official jail in the city? Or is it just like some random shack on the outskirts that they're locking us up into?
So it's down underneath the city. It seems pretty official from what you were led through, but it also seems pretty secret.
I have said it before, and I will say it again. I do believe Sefin forgot to mention the welcoming party. Perhaps you could go find him?
I mean, heck, if we're stuck here, we might at least say hi.
You wish to speak with
He's
Sefin. Do you have a surname for him?
Going back to my notes.
Bet we don't. Well, we might actually. Shit.
Mizeki would be the most likely to have it because you spent the most
Yeah.
time with Sefin.
So you know that the surname he gave you was Gray.
Okay, so he would remember this because he is smarter than I am.
All right.
So he would present Gray and then the information that he had about his relation with the druids.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you
you.
say the
Sorry, I didn't
name
say.
Gray after referring to Sefin, and you see Torrigg's face kind of sink a bit, and then he rushes out of there.
He's like, oh shit.
As this
so
happens, go ahead. Someone was going to say something?
no, no worries.
Okay. As this happens, you hear a voice coming from the next cell over. So, you knew too much, huh? They got you trapped down here.
Evidently, some people here did not know too much. My apologies to you all.
So those of you with dark vision can see that this is a very grizzled-looking human. He's got scars all over him and is wearing just a loincloth. And he goes, he stands up, stretches a bit, and you can hear his back cracking. I've been here for, I don't know, 3-4 years. You're not getting out, even name dropping. Although I've never seen him run out like that before.
Years. Valerian yells.
Yep.
He's
The,
gonna pound on the bars and use his token line. This is an outrage.
yeah, well, I understand they're worried for the safety of their people, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I got nobody to tell anyway. But they don't trust or believe me, so here I am.
What is
Are
your
th-
name, human?
Oh, you can call me Noah.
Like know a name?
No.
Or like know
No.
Oh, okay. Thought it was a really good pun.
Well met, Noah. I am Valerian.
I can cast 90% of my spells without my focus.
I can cast a ton of my spells without my focus as well. Are there any guards down here in the dungeon within earshot of us having a conversation with Noah?
No. There are no guards currently in the room right now.
Any other prisoners besides Noah that we can see?
No.
Are the keys hanging on like a hook just down the hall?
Nope.
Okay.
You sure there's no guard asleep at the end of the hallway with the keyring on his belt?
Yep.
Darn.
I mean, I can go down there and check.
Oh yeah, you can just turn into an animal.
Yeah, I still got wild shape. I could probably spider my way out of here pretty well.
Oh. If
Oh, hey, I
Ori
got
brings
spider climb too.
If Ori brings that up to the group, I mean, Valerian's mind before we all were forced to surrender was that we need to get someone out. Like the rest of the world needs to know about this because they're acting like against all of the accords that every civilized nation has agreed to.
I was talking more
feel like
meta.
we
Ore
went
really
through-
hasn't said anything since we've been here. Ore's
Yeah,
kind
he
of
hasn't
stewing.
mentioned anything. Ori is still complying.
Don't we have sending stones out to counselors still on us?
No, they would have taken
No,
them.
they
Any
would've been taken.
communication as well. You've got mundane things.
Got it.
Anytime I hear a guard coming, I'm gonna whisper the verbals to thaumaturgy and just make ominous whispers. Be like, "Release them, free them, or you will die. Release them."
Okay. So you try, but nothing seems to happen.
Oh, we're in like an anti-magic field or something.
So, like, no effect to the spell?
Yeah.
So I can't make my mage hand?
Do you try?
I mean, yeah, probably. It's one of my core class features. I feel bad.
Yeah. Nope. Nothing happens.
Curses. If only I was a fighter with the ability to hit things.
Then why would they take our focuses if magic didn't work down here
Consistency.
anyway?
Because if
'Cause-
someone has a gun and a knife and you have an anti-knife zone,
Because
you
they,
still
they
take the
took
gun
them
and the
during the
knife.
travel. Your focuses and your weapons were taken during travel.
Well, I guess at this point we chill and see if he comes back.
Yeah. Valerian's gonna try and calm down, which is very much a difficult thing for him to do. But I think it's good for us to chill and then have them come back, and eventually they should tell us some sort of terms, or why we're here, or what the deal is.
Can I make a thieves' tool kit out of Ore's beard? We should have thought of this.
So
We should have hidden thieves' tools in Ore's beard.
Oh yeah, no, like I was totally I had thought about that, like putting like a bender compartment in my chest to like
Yeah,
really
we
store
should
a
have
bunch
done
of
that.
stuff.
okay.
I want to
Because
hide
they
things in
didn't
my bum.
they wouldn't have taken my armor because they wouldn't have been able to get it off me. So
Yeah.
anything I had stuffed underneath my armor might have been a little more safe.
Well, now
Dang
we
it.
have a very good in-character reason for you to do that.
Yep.
Okay, I guess we chill. It's
Ito is
almost 11.
not. Ito is not really gonna chill, but
Yeah, I don't mean chill as in be calm and relaxed. I mean just like you're welcome to try anything you can think of. We're not going to stop you.
Ito is
Ito-
basically gonna begin working out.
Yeah, if Ito's really, really like pent up and angsty, then Valerian will like have some hand-to-hand duels with him or something to keep his mind off if Ito's up for
We-
that.
Start
We
boxing.
did get a
Yeah, he will 100% be up for that.
we did technically get a long rest because they kept us for a night. This is the next day getting into town, right?
Yeah, because you were still more than a day away from town when they took over. So
They weren't just there like slapping us. They've been asleep for 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Slap, wake up, no long rest.
no.
Great.
So we do get our hit points and everything back.
Yep.
Following the brief little battle. Got it.
I mean, the funny thing is, other than Ito, most people didn't take any damage. It was just kind of like, hey, we got assaulted, and now we have to surrender, and the end.
I dealt some damage.
Is there any plant life, moss, twigs, anything growing in the dungeon at all?
There is not anything growing down here.
And is there anything in these cells like beds or benches? Are we just free roaming inside a caged space, or are we chained to the walls?
You're just free roaming inside of a caged space. There are some blankets and things to be makeshift beds, essentially. And then there is a few chamber pots in here.
So, the chainmail that Ito is wearing comes with gauntlets. Would they have taken those because they're, rather powerful punches?
Mm-hmm. Right, and
Dang it.
they would have taken Valerian's gauntlets. So, make sure you take those off.
Sad.
Because those are
Valerian's blood's
magical.
very
They took
strong,
them.
but not
Yeah.
massively strong.
So, okay.
I'm just naked. I took all my stuff off inside the ring.
All right. So the rest of the night, nobody comes in there. You all drift off to sleep if you feel like it. If not, you can stay up as late as you want. If you decide not to rest, you will gain a point of exhaustion. In the morning, a couple of the guards come in. It is not Torrigg coming in this time. Instead, in comes one of the drow, the one that cast mass suggestion on all of you. He goes, I understand you dropped a very important name yesterday. What is your relation to Sephin Grey?
I spent several months traveling with him as a close companion during my time serving the counselors. And
He
then
was a
he traveled
companion.
with us. Yeah.
He was a companion to all of us. I am a
I
fellow druid. We
flip
were
through
studying together.
I flip through my sketchbook and I show him like, see, here's pictures like the good times we had.
Here's us hanging out at the beach.
Look, here's my photo book of us.
Here's
Here's our
here's
selfie.
us. Here's us freeing Ito from the last jail he was stuck in.
We actually do have a picture of that.
We have an empty page where it's like, here's where Stefan told us you guys were a bunch of dicks.
Oh, here's the picture where we were at a festival. Blink,
yeah.
blink.
A rather important one, somewhat relevant to a certain secret.
Yeah, Londale probably has sketches of like Coppercloak and Sephin.
Got pictures of
Dwarven
everybody I
entourage.
meet.
Neil's
Everybody.
just aggressively sketching people all the time.
The drow calls you over, Alandiel, towards the front of the cage, and he goes, let me take a look through this, please.
Don't do
No,
it.
he can't
He gonna
steal
rip it.
Londale's sketch. That's a war crime.
I like hold it and I'll flip through the pages for him.
It's like, all right. I need to take this and show this to some other people.
All of it?
If you want to
already
rip out,
took my.
if you want to
Oh,
rip out
rip
the
it,
pages,
rip it.
that's fine. But if you'd
Oh.
rather keep the book intact, I will take the whole book.
Can he just replicate those pages?
Like,
Don't we have mending?
you better
have
be
some mending?
careful with this. You've already
we can
taken my
take
holy
it back
symbol.
later.
If you take this, I don't know what else I have left.
Yeah, why don't you just rip the pages out and then you can mend them back in
Yeah,
later?
we can mend them back.
Yeah,
in
Yeah, I have
because the
mending.
th-
I can do that.
Rip it.
So you
can't
don't
rip
lose your
it.
entire book. It's like your soul.
Which ones do you need?
All of the ones involving Sephin, Counselor Coppercloak, and Thessic.
Can't you? Don't we have like a duplicate something or other we can do?
No. Well, not without the ability to cast magic.
I was like, I could give you one of each. You gotta understand, you're asking to take my baby.
Will he be able to get that book back when you are done with it?
Absolutely.
Undamaged?
Undamaged.
It will be returned to
Nice.
you in the same state or better.
They color all the
Same
You,
pictures.
sort of
it's
state.
better.
They color all the pictures in.
I,
It's
I,
better.
I cry a little bit as I hand him the sketchbook.
He takes it and he goes, "Thank you."
You get the book back, it's all blinged out with gems. They
They
bedazzled it.
bedazzled it.
That are just heavily censored to fit their own government narrative.
Elendil goes
Everything's
and
been
sits in
blacked
the
out.
corner and starts
It's
praying in
even clear.
Celestial.
Okay.
Your pages are
comfort.
black because they've been redacted.
All right.
Yeah.
So the dark elf will take your sketchbook and leave again out the door.
Ore's going to sit in kind of a meditative lotus position and just consistently pray to Thalia, just to himself, or like quietly to himself, aloud, lightly.
Noah's gonna come over to the bars in between your guys' cages and gonna go, "Who the heck did you know? That's I've seen him twice in my entire time I've been here. He doesn't come in very often unless it's important."
Apparently, someone important. And also all of the counselors.
You work for
It
the
seems-
counselors?
Oh yeah, I got pictures. He's got all the pictures to be like in the same room with the counselors and everything.
We
I
were
mean,
an
they're
envoy.
self-drawn, so I don't know how authentic they'll treat that. But the likenesses are perfect. So
Yeah, we ran some errands for the counselors, and Stefan happened to be part of that group, so.
We suppressed a rebellion partly. So how are you? Why are you in here? Don't tell us if it's the secret knowledge thing, but like,
Oh, I stumbled upon the fact that this place still runs with a king. They
oh yeah,
they don't
okay,
like
so
people
they're here.
knowing that, which I get, because there was the whole time that the Kingslayer went around just killing every king that existed that didn't surrender their power.
Wait.
And
He was rather ineffective, though. My homeland still also has a king and has not even heard of a Kingslayer. But
what?
They
Continue.
haven't let you out yet.
Where
They
are
told
you
us we would be
from?
free to roam the city.
Several conversations.
But there are
Valerian's
still
like,
kings that
"They
hold
fly."
that title in this world that are not imprisoned.
They hold the title, but not the power. And that's what's different. Here, the king makes the rules.
He's made some shitty rules.
She.
She's made some shitty rules.
Well, or the people under her have made some shitty rules.
And it's the king's responsibility was to prevent that. Which is
Yeah,
why we killed all of them, because they weren't doing a very good job.
Yeah, but trust me, like, even if you're the head and supposed to know everything, there's a lot of things that go down that you only find about later because somebody thought, oh, this will be a good idea, and did it anyway. Man, the stories my dad could tell.
Was your dad a king too?
No, but he was leader of
Oh, that's right.
Bracknell for quite a while.
are there any loose like rocks that I can use to like start drawing pictures on the wall?
There is not. Everything here is smooth stone.
What's the chamber pot made out of and how clean is it?
It is made from steel. And
I mean, did they take all of our stuff? They gave us some of our stuff, right?
yeah,
We
you
brought
have your
things that we
mundane
could use.
stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, we've got like batons and hammers and stuff. He could definitely take something like that to etch on the wall.
yeah,
I mean, if we've
you'd
got
have
new
like your
wood.
charcoal and things that you would draw with. Because
I
I
don't
left
have
you
my
your
thieves'
mundane
tools, right?
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead and do
gonna
yourself a
I'm
mural.
gonna start doodling on the wall to comfort myself.
Okay.
I am assuming they took my thieves' tools.
So Ito, I don't think you heard me because Valerian was talking at the same time, but Noah asked you where you're from.
From Umberwall.
Umberhua? What? Never heard of it.
Nobody has around here. I don't know, frankly, how I got here aside from some mess with portals.
It's probably why you still have kings and never heard of the Kingslayer. You're far enough away that you didn't have to deal with it.
Far enough away from all of this mess, yes.
Mm-hmm. So as you guys are having a conversation, about an hour passes by, and eventually the Dark Elf returns with the notebook from Alondiel. He calls you over
I,
and he goes,
I rush to the bars.
"Thank you." And you notice that it's about twice as thick as it was before. And you flip through, and there's a whole bunch of empty pages.
Yes.
Did they erase it or just add more pages in?
Added more pages in.
Yay.
It's the first kind things the dwarves have done. I mean, I guess other than not killing us, because I think Torrigg probably views that as a kindness,
that
but
was
we don't.
kindness, yeah.
You know,
From their perspective, it was kind.
and to be fair, this is also a dark elf, so.
Dwarves have done nothing kind for us at all.
But yeah,
Freaking dwarves.
and he goes, "Your pictures check out. What do you know of Sephin? Tell us. Do you know why he is no longer with you? What did he
Nope.
share with you?"
That some friends had come to talk to him and that he thought he'd be back quick. And we haven't seen him since. Said they're messengers from home. That dwarf could turn into one of the most impressive roctopuses. If you flip over to like this page and I flip through the drawings, I'm like, here is you might not have noticed him in this one because he's the roctopus trashing those dudes.
Valerian's gonna clear his throat because this is almost verbatim a replay of how I got in trouble with Torrigg, and he's gonna look Ori right in the eye and go, and hope that's
Ori,
enough for Ori to understand what he means because we can't, right in front of the dark elf, be like, don't tell him that Sephin accidentally spilled secrets.
so like Ori like nods to you, but says nothing.
I knew not this, Sephin. It seems my predecessor has outshone me once again. Valerian pouts a little bit.
All right.
He's true. Sephin was gone by the time Valerian joined us. He'd already done whatever it was he left to do with the people that came to talk to him. There was friends. Yeah, that's I believe what the message was, if I recall. So they said was the message. I think it's been a long time.
Yes.
Zeki butts in, and we're not his friends.
Yeah, we're not his friend. Yeah, I was really sad about that. I remember that.
All right.
He didn't even say goodbye to us. He was like gonna come say goodbye to us, and he just left instead.
Dude just ghosted us.
He nods and he goes, "Okay. Well, we have reached out. And once we hear back, we will discuss further what is to be done with you."
While you are here, I have an interesting question. Would they have confiscated their coins?
No.
Could you exchange these gold coins to silver for me?
Sure. Can't do anything with it here,
Thank you.
so.
I do not mind. So he's going to trade 23 gold for 230 silver.
I continue to be naked. I just want that to be clear.
All right.
In all my great intelligence, I put all my things inside my ring and came back out.
So another couple hours go by, and when the dark elf
It is worth
go
it
ahead.
is worth noting, any time that the guards are not in the room, Ito is using those new silver coins to try and chip away at the metal bars.
Okay.
After they leave and they've been gone for a few minutes, Ore is going to kind of get up and try and get to the furthest corner into the cell that we're in, very quietly, like sit down in the corner and try to wild shape.
Nothing happens.
That's what I was wondering.
All right. So a couple hours later, the dark elf returns. In addition, he is accompanied by two dwarfs in very fine garments. They are very well armed and armored. He comes up to the bars and he goes, "These are two of our king's guard. Sephin is one of them.
What?
He is currently off in training.
I thought you meant that Seven was one of the two people.
That's what I thought too.
We were gonna have
Yeah,
to
me
like
too. I was
figure
like,
out
what?
which one was Seven. It was like one of those like, which one's the real Seven?
And he goes, he has asked us, when we reached out to him, to come and talk with you further. And he has vouched for most of you." And at this point, the drow turns and looks at Valerian. "He believes that we can trust you, and is willing to put his own life on the line should you betray anything. Not only will you die, so will he."
I still don't really trust Valerian, to be entirely honest. So I'm giving him like a side look here, like,
Yeah, Ore's like, we can leave him.
yeah, he's fine. We can.
What are you talking about? He's got such a winning personality.
Ito
does
actually
win.
has grown rather fond of Valerian.
So the two guards open up the cage and come in, and
And they just find a bunch of silver dust under one of the bars.
they look around, and
There's
they go
a
over
big
to Mizeki,
charcoal mural on the wall.
and they say, "You first. Please come with us."
Okay.
And they will lead you out, one grabbing onto each of your arms and leading you out of the cell, taking you off out through the entrance where you came into a small room, uh, where there's a table, and they sit down on one side and direct you to the other. Sephin says he's
Yeah.
known you the longest, and he trusts you more than the others.
That seems fair. We did spend a significant amount more time together.
He wants to know your opinion and whether you can vouch for the lion.
He has not acted in any way I feel would make him an immediate threat. I'm still uncertain about his origins and arrival with our group, but thus far he seems to act in the interests of the group as a whole.
Will he keep his mouth shut?
The fact that I didn't know until this information was revealed in front of others means yes. I only discovered when someone else said it in front of him later, while we were in the prison. Or was that when we were being captured? Things sort of have blended together a little bit the last few days.
All right. Thank you for your information. And they'll take you, lead you down a different hallway away, and open up a room. No bars or anything. And they say, wait here while we talk with the rest of your friends. And then they close
Alright.
and lock the door behind you.
Cool. I will do my little circle and sit down.
The guards return to that, open up the cage where you're all in, and go to Ore next. Follow me, please.
Ore's been sitting there in that little like meditative pose, looks up at the guard, very slowly and reluctantly stands up, looks at everybody else, and then follows them out.
They take you, lead you to the interrogation room. Sefin tells us that you're also a druid, that you've
I
shared
am.
many things with him in common, and that he in turn shared many things with you. He respects you and your opinions, and wants to know whether we can trust the lion.
Yes. Why do you feel that you cannot trust the lion?
Sefin doesn't know him. Sefin can't vouch for him. We don't trust
Understood.
anybody.
Your secrets are not for us to divulge. We have no benefit and no gain to releasing any information that we have about you or your society here. Personally, I believe you are all allowed to live exactly as you see fit.
But you understand the danger to us if you do share that information.
I understand more now. I've had this information for some time and did not share it until the opportunity to present itself to Torrigg. I certainly did not mean to compromise any of your situation here.
You know, had you not said anything to Torrigg, we never would have known.
Torrigg was a unique situation. However, now that I'm aware of the sensitivity of this information, I vow that I would not share it again.
He goes, very well, follow us. And they lead you down a different hallway, open up a door, and let you into a room where Mizeki is waiting.
These waves.
They close and lock the door behind you, and then they return and they grab Alondiel next, lead you to the interrogation room. Sefin spoke highly of you and of your connection to the Divines, how you helped save the lives of your group. He asked us to find out what you think of the lion, whether we can trust him with our secrets.
I honestly don't know. He's very driven and highly militaristic. Um,
And seems to be the most angry about us still having a king.
he's angry about just about everything, though.
So he's a wild card.
Fairly. He does. He is high on orders and hierarchy from his service time.
Let me ask you something. If you shared a secret about the Elven nation with him, would you trust that he would not divulge it to others?
I would not feel comfortable sharing uh, secrets with him at this point. No.
Thank you for your honesty. He goes, follow me. And he takes and leads you to the room where Ore and Mizeki are.
All I can think of is you've been voted off the island.
He's a great and mighty warrior. He can serve a purpose, but yeah. I mean, if you could swear him to an oath, I believe he would keep it, possibly.
Okay. The guards return and this time go to Sadzi. say, "Follow us, please." Lead you to the interrogation room and go through the same kind of process. And he goes, "Sefin told us a lot about what you went through.
I see.
Told us how you were resistant to go back to your home, but you went anyway."
It was what was needed at the time.
"So you'll do what is needed. That is good. What do you feel about the lion? Can he be trusted?"
I would say that I do generally trust him. He is angry, yes.
And loud.
Well, yes, he's a lion. Um, Based on his military service, he's, I think, used to seeing things a certain way, but he's supposedly fairly high up, and you don't get high up if you don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
So he'll follow orders?
I think if you told him that as long as he doesn't spread word of anything he's not supposed to say, that, as a condition of his freedom, he would stick to that.
Thank you. And they'll lead you to the room where the others are waiting. And then they'll return and take Ito next.
Oh,
So,
before I leave, can I as they're removing me from the interrogation room, may I crop dust them?
Sure.
With all that meat.
All right.
Hey, you know my inspiration for Satsi.
Okay. They return and take Ito to the interrogation room.
so a question before they take him. If the entire time they've been doing this, any second there are not guards in view, Ito is frantically grating coins as hard as he can against the metal bars. About how much dust, how much metal dust and slivers can he make?
None. The drow is there the entire time. So it's
Ah,
just
dang.
the king's guards that are coming and taking you off.
That's inconvenient.
I mean, you can talk with him the whole time if you want, but the king's guards are going to come and take you into the interrogation room next.
Ito just flips the coins while he waits then, and then goes with them once they arrive.
So, Sefin tells us that he found you in a cage.
Yes, it was not too dissimilar to the one you've now put me in.
He tells us it was much smaller.
Yes, it was a tad smaller.
We understand you are not from anywhere near here, and that you yourself have a king.
Yes, I do not begrudge you yours. I do begrudge being returned to a jail cell.
Well, around these parts, kings aren't looked on too happily. But our king has never caused any trouble with anybody else. And we like to keep it that way by keeping it secret. Because those who have known that we have had a king have come and attacked before. We've
I would
lost many
make an
people.
argument. I would make an argument that you have, in fact, caused problems for people by imprisoning them for years on end for happening to know that you have a king. That is not the definition of our king has done nothing to other people.
We protect our secrets. However we have to. A few lives sacrificed for the greater good and the greater peace for our people.
A few outsiders' lives.
Not just outsiders. I understand that you met Torrigg as he was out on a mission dealing with some dwarfs who were going to spread the secrets of our people.
So Do you monitor every single one of your dwarves who leaves? Because it seems to me literally anyone living here could simply walk out there, claim they are on normal business, and spread the word.
It's true.
Do you monitor all of them?
They could. We have ears and eyes just about everywhere. We are very good at gathering information. You have met some of our finest spies. The Dulluddar.
Right. So you kill your own people and any outsiders they happen to tell to avoid. Okay. Now, continue.
Seven says he doesn't know you all that well, but in the short time that he got to know you, he felt that you could be trusted simply because you know what it's like to have a king. Clearly, you don't fully understand what it's like here, but he still believes that you could be trusted. We're not so sure with your attitude, so we'll be watching you.
I have known for quite some time, and not one person learned. Apparently, the others who traveled with me did not know until I mentioned it just now. I have known for months, and I did not have a reason to tell a soul until you kidnapped me and imprisoned me for it. You are changing my opinion on that. However, if it is what gives me my freedom, I will swear to not tell a soul.
Very well. It is definitely a condition of your freedom. Now, he did ask us to get your opinion of the lion.
I have not known him long. I have not known any of this group long. Um, Frankly, I have been at his sword point, and he did not kill me. I have fought alongside him, and he did not betray me. That is all proof I need that he can be trusted.
Would you trust him not to share your secrets? Fighting alongside someone is very different than keeping a secret.
He has yet to tell anyone that I also have a king.
Very well. So, let's have you swear your oath that you will not tell a soul about the kingdom of the dwarfs.
I swear, by the honor of my own king, that not a soul will hear of yours who does not already know from my lips.
Okay. So, he will take you and lead you into the others. Sephin, at this point, you receive.
You mean Valerian?
No, I do not.
Oh, snap!
Yeah.
At this point, you
Oh,
receive
shit.
a message with the information from all of your 5 previous companions detailing about Valerian. Do you agree to trust him and vow that if he breaks that trust that you will sacrifice your life for him based on the information that your friends gave on him?
Sephin returns a message saying to have the lion swear an oath, for he is a paladin and he will believe his word. And if he will swear that oath, then he shall be set free.
Okay.
Man, you had the chance to execute yourself. How often do you get that chance?
So close.
The guards return and take Valerian from the cage, lead him into the interrogation room, and go. Your friends have spoken mixed reviews about you. Some of them trust you to guard them and guard their backs, but not all of them trust you with their secrets. and so we're not entirely sure that we can trust you with ours. However, they all did say that you are a soldier and that you will follow orders. As such, we have been instructed to make you a member of our army and give you this order. You are not to tell a soul anything about our kingdom or about anything that happens in the Dwarven Mountains.
Wait, is he being forcibly conscripted?
Yes, he is being forcibly
Just been
conscripted,
press
or he's
ganged.
going right back to the cell.
This is a
Welcome to
curveball I was
being
not.
a sailor.
And
Congrats.
so
Yeah.
they go,
Did you see my message? Insanity.
let me look.
Okay.
This-
That's funny. I wasn't expecting forcible conscription.
It is a pretty good solution, though, right? Like,
It's good.
Okay, so you're rejecting?
We can play it out, yeah. So Valerian is very confused, actually, about this forcible conscription. He's going to ask some more details, like, what does this mean exactly? Because he's a high-ranking sergeant in the army of Utra, so he's going to ask some logistics like that, like, what about my pension and what's going to happen here? What about my chain of command from Utra?
You may keep your chain of command there, but we always outrank them.
So let me get this straight. You conscript me into your army with some unknown rank. Your army supersedes my own. And if I ever break my word, this Sephin dwarf that I've never met will die.
As well as you.
He stands up and puts his hands on the table and leans his head close to the person. He says, I reject your offer.
yeah, that's appropriate.
Go, very well. And they will take you and escort you back into the cell. And on that note, we will end there.
Yay.
So, yeah, that was fun.
I'm only sad that you didn't describe the prison food.
I mean, you were in there for a few hours overnight. They didn't bring you any food because you didn't get in until the evening. So you haven't had any prison food yet.
That's a shame.
So,
Well, if they don't
I'm
clear
so
the
disappointed.
walls, there's like a mural that I started drawing of Dulluddar.
all right. All right, everybody have a good night. We're going to go ahead and end the stream, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
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 Bye.